You know, I forgot the streams weren't back to 1080p. I could try setting it to that, but I have to restart the stream. If I do it fast enough,
subscribed at tier 1. They've subscribed for 46 months. And says number goes up. End of line.
If I do it fast enough, it may not trip the read notification. Portizo, thank you for the tier 1 sub there, and for 46 months. I appreciate that. Yeah, let me just restart the stream at 1080p. I don't think I can change that on the fly. Pretty sure that's one of the locked out settings. Let me just check real quick, like on the server video. Yeah, that's locked out. Yeah, hold on. I'm just gonna restart it real quick, like. Okay. Hello. Okay. Hello. Maybe, in theory. All right. That will be 1080p now. Same bitrate. Well, it's 5 megabits per second. But it's been 5 megabits per second for a while now. So, all right. We're going to work more on the DECWriter 3 today. But today's stream is also truncated by 1 hour on the back end. I have to leave to go do a thing. So, not a lot I can do about it. Although I was hoping to get a confirmation of the thing, and I still have not yet done or received that. Let me double check. It would be real cool if I did, but yeah, so far no. Yeah, not yet. Be nice if that was a thing. Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna work on the DECWriter 3. Potentially the only thing that's wrong with it right now is that the home position sensor is not working. I haven't actually looked up where that is yet. Hopefully it's not that difficult to find. I don't see it, which is weird, but I'm sure it's in there. So, all right. Before we do that, see, you thought the ink ribbon needed to be replaced? That's not a repair, that's standard maintenance. That's nothing. It's not even like called the maintenance department. That's just regular person service stuff. And I got a box of 5 of them. It's not like it's a problem. Anyway, if you watched the Extron programming stream a little while ago, I have a follow-up to that you might enjoy. And in general, if you watch my Python serial programming shenanigans, you might appreciate this. So over here is my code for, if I push this button, we get a webcam. Beautiful. This is my code for the video routing setup that I did for my home video capture stuff. And I came up with a cool solution for my serial ports swapping around. I still have not yet figured out one for the video input devices for V4L devices, so I need to figure that out still. But I can access serial ports by their USB serial name now. So the way this works is I have a function up here that imports serial tools list ports, and then uses that to scan through all of the serial ports on the computer, and then we can check the name metadata for that serial port, and then if it is, we can return the device path for it. Now, you can also do this. Number 2 in the array there, I believe, is the USB product and vendor ID. Unfortunately, I don't think it has. Does it also give you the serial number? 2 definitely does.
Loriku gifted a
yeah.
tier 1 sub to DECWriter. They have given 27 gift subs in the channel. End of line.
Chloe, thank you for the gifted sub. Although it looked like Diego was about to be subjected to quite the ad barrage. It's probably 80-second ads, Diego. But Chloe, thank you. Yeah, you can get it from here. Let's just see. Do I have any serial ports on here? That's not how you do control thing. This, no. This, no. Hold on. Atomic keyboard, I don't remember where Alt is bound. Hold on. I know if I can click this. Boom, done. Okay. LS, USB, real quick. Do I have a USB serial thing? I don't. One moment. Let me just grab one of the Sabrent ones. Because I genuinely really like this solution. Okay, so USB serial doodad. Just plug that in. Boop. All right, it's one of them blue ones that glows a whole lot. Here we go. So this will be prolific. Perfect. That's exactly what we want to see. So now what we can do, we don't have to Python math for this, thankfully. So I just got to be careful to not accidentally do any math while I'm in here. If we import, I'm not even sure that we have to do this part, but I'm just gonna because I'm feeling like not adventurous right now. Oh, that's right. Stupid GitHub. Control C, Control Shift V, Control C, Control Shift V. There we go. Okay, so we can do this, but this gets slightly complicated because there will be a ton of these. So let's also import. No, pprint doesn't work. It's useless. Let's just paste. Control Shift paste. And then print F0. And then it's port 0. I know what numbers are, not letters. And then space, dash, space. Actually, hold on. Let's do it properly formatted with the braces and everything. Okay. And then we do 1, port 1, and then 2, port 2. There is no third parameter, by the way. So that's it. Why don't you... Fair. There we go. Okay, so here's what you get. You get the USB product and vendor ID. You do not... Oh, you do get the USB path. Oh, I didn't realize the path was in there. Okay. So you could totally have it output just this and then use that. And that's actually even more unique. Because I was going to say, if you plugged in multiple of the exact same USB device, you would run into an issue because they have the same identifier. But no, that's totally possible. Okay. Well, I'm going to update this code then to support that. And I might wrap it into like a little library. Because the other thing I did is I added a serial name list option where it will print out all of the names for everything. And then you can copy the port 1 value to pass that as a parameter to the program to be able to specify, I want this exact one for this. So I'll probably go ahead and update it to allow using either one. So you could use the USB path or the just straight up name. Stream elements, I was pretty late. Oh, that's because I restarted the stream, that's why. Okay. But yeah, thought that was pretty cool. Also, totally dumb thing. I went to Walmart today for, just normal stuff, and they had copies of Starlink for $75. That is full MSRP on the shelf in 2025. This game came out in 2018. Okay, I paid $25 for this on Amazon when I bought it 9 months after it launched because it bombed. I just thought this was incredible. I almost want to try and buy one at this location and see if they actually ring up as $75 or if it rings up as like 1 penny or something. I just thought that was hilarious. So for those of you who may not remember, this was the game that took like 5 minutes to boot on my Switch when I was demonstrating that I could play Switch games on my CRT. But yeah, so that was absolutely hilarious. All right, let's go do some... actually, you know what? Let's take a moment here and look up the DECWriter 3 manual. DECWriter 3 manual. Let's see, and for the FTDI-based ports, you can set the serial number, device name, something you choose. Yeah, I saw you said that, but you also said there was like a risk of bricking it, and that didn't sound like a fun time to me, so I decided that that was not worth attempting. How did a product that old stay on the shelf at Walmart? I'm gonna guess it got crammed under some shelves in the warehouse section in the back. No one, and then they found it at random one day. So, all right. That's user manual, technical manual. This might be what I want. All right. I feel like the home sensor switch is something that could actually be documented in here through the normal troubleshooting stuff. I don't normally start looking at the troubleshooting help in manuals like this because these were written for like user error and misassembly. They weren't written for like the thing is now 40 years old and these parts failed. Like there would never be a situation where the troubleshooting guides in this would help you to diagnose a particular capacitor having gone bad. All right. Ooh, this is a fancy OCR one. Okay. Let's see if home is a word in here. It is not. Great. How? Oh my gosh, we're 15 pages in and we haven't even got past the index. Okay. Yep, that's a 3. We got the cable. Oh, that's good to know that right angle cable is original. Only risk of breaking it with the fiddling settings, but do not fiddle with these settings. Yeah, but I don't feel like there's that much benefit to it still. Let's see. That should update the troubleshooting to include 4 years of wear problems. Yeah. Because you wouldn't use a DECWriter at home. Now you're just going to make me take one home to keep it on my desk. I got 2. Why not? All right, so you're saying stop? 98 matches. Yeah, they really liked the word stop, it seems. Okay, we're not going to use that one. All right. So they got the cover interlock switch. Yep, okay. Well, this is some pretty helpful stuff here. Okay, alarm indicators. Bell, blah, blah, paper out. Keyboard buffer overflow. Typing faster than communications lines can handle will cause a buffer overflow. This condition is indicated by a bell tone each time the key is pressed. Under these conditions, data will not be lost. I love that. The I'm too cool for school warning. They're telling you to stop fixing using reading the manual. Yeah. Hugely helpful. But I'm annoyed I broke my adapters that supported it, knowing they're always... Ah, yeah, I can see that. Wait, how did you do that? Is that like a UDEV rule? How did you do a custom path? How does that work for things like... what was the program that was really stupid? Was it agetty? It's agetty that doesn't use the dev part. Does that work with stuff like that? All right, I just need, will they call it a sensor? They might call it a switch. I don't know what the unstop thing would be. Oh, okay, so there's the shipping lock. All right, they got a copy of the plaque. macOS default use serial number for device, otherwise assign number based on bus topology. Okay. Do similar to UDEV and agetty would be fine with that? All right. Agetty is like the most snooty thing ever, so I never trust it to work with anything weird. If anyone has any insight on V4L devices, I would be very, very interested in that, though. At some point here, I do want to experiment with using the HD Vision for the stream input I even ordered the HD 58 to DVI connectors, so that I can input HDMI into that card. And then I have, this was expensive, but I bought 4 DVI extension cables so that I can run these all the way out of the case, because now this breaks my whole thing with the like DVI or the HDMI plug connectors. Maybe I can run them through that still. I don't know. But yeah, so this will let me run HDMI into the HD Vision 4, and then we can use that for streams, and that will free up the DECWriter Quad HD, which is the only true 4K 60 capture card I own to work with the RetroTink 4K. It's basically going to be whatever house the RetroTink 4K is in is going to be where that DECWriter is. And by whatever house I mean is like if I bring the RetroTink here to do video VGA capture of computers and stuff, we'll use that. But yeah, that's the only true 4K capture card, and I don't stream in 4K, and that's kind of wasted potential there. So, let's see. Getty's Ancient Cruft back in the day, useful error messages were for losers. Yeah. So immediately my mind went to Plaque, they'd leave on the moon. That's fun to imagine. I mean, this is closer to the moon landing than it is now. Just gonna keep scrolling through this, see if we get any like exploded views or something here. Trying to zoom out though so I can get a 2-up page view. Wait, does this have chapters and stuff? I won't blame anyone for not making chapters. I don't even know how to make chapters. So actually thinking about this because I'm working on processing the Sony KV-2145R service manual still, and I was thinking it would be cool if I could learn how to do chapters for that. But it's a pain in the butt. I don't understand how PDF rendering is so terrible. Why is it always so slow? Has an encoder and motor shaft. That's for position counting. How does it know when it's at the end? You just had to make yourself feel old. I feel like using a device from the early 80s to do that isn't exactly the greatest, like, isn't the biggest thing. It's like 13 years between the DECWriter 3 and the moon landing versus the 25 years between it and now. Sumatra PDF reader. I am willing to look this up only because Ocular is the worst software I use every day. That's not true. Gwenview is worse, but Ocular is second. Things I want to replace in KDE. Gwenview, Ocular. Oh, Sumatra's Windows only. Yeah, that's not going to be that helpful for me. That's like recommending IR FanView for image viewing, which might have a Linux port. I don't remember. Does it? Hold on. IR FanView. Blah, blah, blah. Available. Yeah, no Linux version. Yeah. Wait, is it using CGI Win, but it doesn't have a Linux version? No. ARM, no, because there has to be a Linux port. Download. What? Why are they using CGWin but not porting to Linux? Are you kidding me? So for those of you who don't know, that means internally this is a GTK app. And they're just not pushing the button to compile to Linux. Jerks. Porting to Linux? I don't think it's open source. Is it? I feel like that would be one of the first things people would port to Linux anyway. Single dev, very old. Yeah, it does work in Wine. Yeah, but I will never set up anything in my daily life that uses Wine. It's just not going to happen. Wine is really good. I really enjoy using stuff through Wine. It works fantastically. You get a lot of configuration options, but I will never use that for daily driven software. It's just not worth it. If you put something in the path of the print head and power up, it'll hit that 0, and that's then your datum. So you're saying it is based on like motor current or not skipping? It has no other means to determine home. Well, that's worse. I don't like that.
Sleepy developer subscribed at tier 1. They've subscribed for 12 months. End of line.
Sleepy, thank you for the tier 1 sub and for 12 months. I appreciate that.
Lenahan subscribed at tier 1. They've subscribed for 10 months, currently on a 10-month streak. And says hi. End of line.
Lena Heim, thank you for the tier 1 sub and for 10 months. I appreciate that. So you guys notice hits left, right bumper after the machine is warmed up. Check the encoder outputs. Uh-oh. Well, let's skip to that. Hold on. Let's try downloading this, seeing if greedy mode ocular works any better. Not really. In theory, this is supposed to be rendering the pages in advance. But it only does it like 3 pages ahead. It's the stupidest thing. I hate this software. Oh, I'm not using greedy. Okay, hold on. Go. Give it a second. Let's see. Oh, that is better. Kind of. It's still not fast. Doesn't have dark invert mode. No, it does not. This does have it, but you have to configure it to a hotkey before you can use it. At least I think. View. Yeah, you can't even do it through there. Yeah, you go, where is it? Shortcuts. Invert. I'm pretty sure I set that. I might be wrong, but yeah, then you can do boom. It's possible that's standard. Bluffing the encoder? Maybe. Nearly all other diagnostics. Replace power supply. Check motherboard. Ah, that's lame. Okay, hold on. Control F. Encoder. Okay, head slams left, right. Reconnect or repair cable. Perform DC servo test. Okay. That's one of them oscilloscopy-like things that we could do. All right. Here's what I would like to try. Well, so it's probably... Yeah, let's look at the encoder. Let's just make sure the encoder's not dirty. Because that could be it. Something I noticed while we're here, because I was trying to find the stream where I played Starlink so that I could bring the footage back up to show you guys. Of all of the recent VODs, the first SNES gaming VOD is actually one of the more viewed ones on YouTube. Just kind of surprised me. Okay. Look, it's a DECWriter 3. Crazy. Okay. I feel like it's not going to be the encoder. I can barely make it not render in time. Oh, after a fast scroll? Okay. The encoder looks extremely well sealed. So, yeah, I don't think it's going to be that. Like, super duper well sealed. Also, we didn't read the important document here. User information, FCC Class A verified. This booklet contains important information concerning the operation, maintenance, and servicing of this equipment. All right. Does it though? Because I don't think it does. Notice this equipment generates, uses, and may emit radio frequency. Oh, yeah, that's right. It's post Tiras 80 Model 1, 1980. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. They wouldn't include adjustment procedures in public tech ref because they weren't anticipating being needed occasionally. Yeah, but like, how? Do I just take this screw out and then like, boop, there it is? Also, I think there are bits of Ethernet cable in here. So I might want to try and pull all those out. Because I noticed some over here that looked a little suspicious. And then there was one over here. So, that. I mean, I assume the encoder's in there, so. Remove 2 screws from the circular. 2 screws? Dude, how do I get to the bottom one? It's literally right on the bottom. I have to unbolt it with 3 bolts here so that it pulls off. Show you. I can't see it with my own eyes. I don't know how I can show you with a camera. I'm going to pull the paper out so I don't tear it up while I move this thing around now. Okay, I'm going to loosen this one and then just hope that the other one's not that tight. That some service tech did me a solid 25 years ago. Using a 90-degree screwdriver, okay. No, they did their job, jerks. Why would you do that? Ugh. All right, well, I got good news and I got bad news. Isn't there a hole in the chassis? No. There is a foam sheet, and then under the foam sheet, it is solid metal. All right, good news, bad news. I have to take that off. There's no other option, which means that I need to release the tension on the belt because I don't want this just getting pulled over, which means I gotta undo the screws, the bolts over here so that I can release the tension on the belt so I can pull it off of the wheel so that I can move this out of the way so that we can take those off. That's the bad news. Stop. Earlier said this procedure is to check the output looks like first and also pop the timing belt off the pulley. Well, I mean, where's the output? Ugh. Hold on. Let me tie this one. Let me show you the good news, though. Or just compress air through any hole. Well, that's kind of what I was saying. It's sealed. Like, I don't think it's super likely that it's this. Anyway, good news. After last time, I was really sad I didn't have any Allen wrenches, so I have Allen wrenches. Way too many sizes. Like, down to, I could probably tattoo myself with it. It's so thin. And I'm trying to be careful not to snap it. Up to, that's a breaker bar, not an Allen wrench. Test point on the board for the raw signal. Yeah, I get that. Okay. It's not going to be that fast, so we can use the TDS 320. Yeah. All right, let me go back and look at the manual, see if I can find the test point for that. What page, Ben? Step 3, push, carriage assembly, extreme left, slip the timing belt. Front end, yeah. That was what I was going to do. All right. 5.9 through 5.11. All righty. Okay. Wish we had the Lytton model, not because of the cover. I mean, also because of the cover, but Lytton's just kind of cooler. Okay. Whoa, that's a lot of stuff. Okay, disconnect power from terminal, remove housing, 621. And tape down, cover, interlock, open rear door, push carriage assembly to extreme left, slip timing belt, check channel output 1 of the encoder by connecting channel 1 of the scope to pin 6 of E25 on the power, on the logic and power board. Apply power to terminal, DC motor, encoder will rotate continuously. Adjust scope for settings, blah, blah, wave shape. Encoder output is good. Proceed to step 8. Duty cycle is not 50%. Proceed to step 6. Remove 2 circles of the cover on the doodad. Okay, if good. Connect channel. Check channel 2 of the output. Check for wave shape shown in 5.3. 5.3. But didn't we already just look at that? Duty cycles are 50%. With belt tensioning, spring in place, press left-hand pulley. All right, fine. Wait for full moon, perform ritual. Yeah. Doesn't give document-based page numbers because it sucks. I mean, the PDF page numbers works. Since you hyphenated it, I knew it was chapter or sub-page, so that was fine. Why is there a channel 1 and a channel 2? That's so weird. Sucks, we're going to have to take a cover off if it's wrong, but whatever. All right, so basically remove the belt so that it's trying to home the entire time and then measure it on E25 pin something or another. Pin 7, no, it was a pin 6 on the first one. Pin 6, okay, E25. First question, are there reference designators on the circuit board, or am I going to have to look at a chip map? Chip map it is. That's not good. Okay, so we have a minor problem here. I wasn't expecting to have to film inside like that. I did not bring the stuff to connect my phone. So it's not going to be as easy for me to film the inside of this today. I intentionally didn't bring my phone or my laptop bag that has the phone HDMI stuff, so that when the time for ending stream comes, I can just leave. So, oops. I really thought we were just going to go in a sensor and then it would work. Oh well. Ugh. All right. Let's see what we can figure out. Well, first things first, I have to loosen the belt, which sucks more than the manual makes it sound like it sucks. You don't just slip it off. At least not this one. Hold on, I just want to really quick get the power cable out from underneath the legs. There we go. Can we fix the blue box on the floor? What? Okay, well, now I need the Allen wrenches. All right. So this came out in the 70s. It's definitely not metric. Ooh, almost nailed that. Looks like test equipment. I don't know. Don't worry about it. That's getting distracted. All right. I cannot release the belt without loosening these tension spring things. So maybe I had these too tight. You know what? We'll just turn it back on after this. Maybe this needs some wiggle room, and me having tightened it a whole bunch was a bad idea. There we go. That now wiggles. Power to switch. Switch on. Thing not homing? What? I didn't do anything back there. I didn't unplug anything. Oh. Oh, you know what? One of these solder pads would be better. Trying to figure out what's a good, safe electrical barrier I can put on this and then just leave on it this time rather than the janky towel. That's way better. Ah. All right. Let me grab a sheet of paper. Just quickly slide in there so it doesn't type against the metal. There we go. It doesn't also have a paper sensor, does it? Oh, line local. And there it is. Oh, this is weirder. That's the system restarting. Wait a minute. That's a completely different failure than I thought at first. Okay, let's go over this one more time. So, boot. Okay. It's stuck there right now. There we go. It got it this time. And then I'm just going to do some typing. That's a full reboot. Okay. Well, why is that happening? That's a little more complicated. Yeah, sagging rails could be it. Huh. Well, LEDs are doing all kinds of weird stuff, but I didn't fully ascribe that to anything yet. Okay. How do we test this? That power supply sucks to work with. Ugh. It doesn't mount in any kind of sensible way. So the power supply is clearly fine until it's being used. Then the rails sag. So it could be like the solenoid rails or something. I don't know. I can check the output that's going to the connectors on the main board. I need to figure out the pin out of that though. Okay, let's see if we can find that in the manual. Ben, we got physical problems we got to solve first. Like, how do I measure the rails? Because again, I can't just pull the parts out and set them up on a bench. Because the whole thing is fully integrated. We can't. It's. Is there anything? Yeah, because like there's the logic board, the power supply mounts in the cabinet in front of all that nonsense. So if I take out the power supply here, then it's not loaded anymore. And it works until I make it do something, which is why I think the rails are probably sagging. Best way to visualize. I mean, yes, but I know the Fluke 287 does. It has a slow plot mode that I can use. I rarely have ever used it. Like, I think I had a genuine use case for it once, and I'm probably going to need to change the batteries if we're doing that, because it's definitely going to be a little crankier about that. Yeah, there was one time I was working on a real actual job product fancy thing where I needed to measure the resistance of something over extended periods of time. So I hooked up the 287 to it, logging data to the display so that I could chart the resistance change. We're not doing that, Vorpal Sword. feel like we're getting closer to a pinout for the power connectors. Nope, it's ending. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and ignore further suggestions for now until I figure out what the voltage rails are on the power connector. I don't need a million ideas. I just need to work on one first. Starting to think I'm not going to get a power pin out from this manual, though. This manual seems like it kind of sucks. Oh my gosh, I'm glad I don't have this one. Look at it. Look at, oh my, whoa. Maybe having a late model Writer 3 is actually a good thing. Holy moly. Remember yesterday when we were talking about how much better modern capacitors are? They're smaller and denser. You can see the evolution in the same product line right there. Oh, man. Potentially good find there, Ben. Okay. Page 19. All right. Let's look at this. One day this will load.
JJDB 210 subscribed at Tier 1. They've subscribed for 46 months, currently on a 46-month streak. And says those be some big caps. End of line.
Yeah. JJ, thank you for the Tier 1 sub there and for 46 months. I appreciate that. 19 or 20. Well, I'm getting it downloaded so we can just have it, like, actually work. Looks cool, the huge capacitors. Yeah, but, you know, when those start failing is when you start needing to, you know, look at a second mortgage. Wait, how did it know to open it to this page? Wait, because that's the same PDF. Okay, that's also the wrong PDF. What was it called? M something? Okay, 19 or 20. Let's just start it. 19. Okay, or 20. Oh, they're weird. It's not like a picture. I gotta think. All right, hold on. Let's zoom in here. Is this? Okay. So, pins there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. It's kind of weird they show the keys like that. All right. And then, are these two different, like, hardware revisions or something? Because they look the same, but they're clearly different. At least the power connector's probably the same between them. Let's see, 20 milliamp, no. Servo motor, no. EIA, not yet. Power, that's too many. That's 6, okay. So we got plus minus 12. Wait, there's another bigger power cable somewhere. Okay. Well, we got plus minus 12. Case, ground, logic, ground, and 5 volt. Okay. Another top that I can't be bothered to decipher. Hold on, now I want to see this. This diagram on the diagram on this sheet, something to Lazio, reversion, oak. There we go. It's almost like 1-bit scanning is bad. All right. Hold on. Okay, so I get a box. Since when did my phone make fake drawing sounds when I draw on it? That's extremely annoying. Okay, that was the correct arrangement, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And then it would be DC okay. No idea. Okay. Question mark. And then 2, 12. And then 3, anti 12. And then 4, ground. And then 5, other ground. And then 6 is 5. Okay. L means active low. Okay. So no in the top right of page 20. Oh, okay. Yeah, but don't tell Al or he'll get cranky. DECWs, H&L, surfaces on signal names for high-low logic. Okay. All right, let me go look at this. Dude, I can't believe I remembered that my phone can actually do that. That was very, very handy. That's one of those features where I'll think later on, I'll like accidentally take the pen out and then bump the screen, like, oh man, I could have been doing that. Okay. Page 19 is the winner. Wait, what was the difference? DECWriter 3. Yeah, but it's going to be the same power connector on both, isn't it? Wait a minute. And it's not even close to a match. One I was looking at was 6 pins. That one's not 6 pins. There isn't even a 6 pin going to the main board. All right, back to the drawing board, literally. Okay. So I need a 3x4. That's what that was? Hold on. I'm lazy. I don't want to get up, and I know I can click my way over to see this. Yeah, 3x4. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Maybe that was the power supply PCB, wasn't it? No, I don't recognize that board at all. I have no idea what that is. You know, I see a 4x3 up here. Oh, I wonder if that's a power supply for the Chonkosaurus capacitor version. Maybe we need to go up farther. Maybe they got the layout thing for the logic board there. No. Relying on wire colors is a dangerous game, Dark Shadow. You gotta trust that it was actually followed correctly. That looks better, but still not quite the same. Let's see, we got... Okay, maybe that's close enough. Yeah, okay, So yeah, that works. Okay. So J4. All right. These aren't numbered. Dude, I love how they drew the 7 segments with the italicization in them. 4x3 at the top. I know, I get that, Ben, but like, is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12? Or is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? Like, what's the pin order here? Like, or is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Yeah. Because if I wanted to yellow this, I could have just started sticking the probes in there and finding out voltages, you know, the hard way. But that's not what I'm trying to do right now. Let's go back up to page 19, see if we see J4. Okay, J4. They're not all connected. Wait, are these like ditto? Like 7, 8, and 9 are all the same? Is that what this is supposed to be? I assume power return is ground, so this is shield ground. And this is maybe just solenoid? How many wires were there on there? I thought there was more than like... Yeah, there's a bunch of wires on there. Well, there's at least 3 empty pins, but only 2 of them are marked as no connect. Yeah, I know the pinout can be molded into the plug. I might have to go look. I mentioned no connects explicitly, knowing DEC manufacturing test mode jumper, so maybe the others aren't duplicates. But there are 9 wires there. I'm pretty sure. There are 9 wires there. Like 6 of them are blue DECWriter. They're just different shades of blue. 10 connections. I know. 3 set. Yeah, that makes more sense. Can you unplug the connector to see the pin numbers? I can, but it still doesn't directly coordinate with this or correlate. Do you think I agree that's worth doing? Let me go grab a flashlight because it's like dark in there. Well, one thing I can say, there's copper here that says 1 next to that pin. All right, no, the only thing cast in this is amp and a P.P marking. Maybe? Yeah, no pin numbers. Other than one right there, but there's no other pin marked to indicate anything. They are not cast into that block either. Man, this thing sucks to touch. It's so rough. So you were saying E25. I don't know how well I can make this show up. Is this one. Wait, there's two pin 40s. Uh-oh. That one? All right, well, let's continue trying to figure out power, I guess. One on the left, nearest 5 output transistors. Okay. Come on, I'm better in this. I'm trying to do this properly rather than just shoot from the hip. You know what sucked about working on the DECWriter 2 is when I shot from the hip and I killed one of the solenoids.
Subscribed at tier 1. They've subscribed for 42 months. And says boom shakalaka. End of line.
The deck talk just unemphatically say stuff like that is always hilarious. It's Carve, thank you for the tier 1 sub and for 42 months. I appreciate that. All right. Yeah, we could try and check to see if they are common, and that is meant to indicate ditto, the absence here. But, yeah, no. So, oh, well, you weren't even seeing that. You'll see that it's, the common colors are columns, not rows. So if it was 1, 2, 3, it would have to be numbered 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold on, I have an idea. Is this OCR'd? No, why would it be? That'd be nice. Here we go. Where is the part number for J4? Maybe we can just look it up. J2, J1. This is like just the power supply, but. Oh, that's cool. Automated by print list ID. Oh, this is straight from their ECAD or EDA software. Dude, that's super cool. Okay, LA 120 power supply. All right, but what about from like the real? That was farther down. That's right. That was farther down. CAD straight to fiche. Yeah, that's super cool. Okay, here we go. So I need J4 here. J4 amp mate and lock. That's hilarious. So it is a whole bunch of 1s and 2s. Oh my gosh, like a license plate that you're trying to use to not have your cops be able to read what it is. Okay, it's the one directly above Wait, is that a deck part number? I feel like that is. Oh, let's just look up amp mate and lock 12 pin. Oh, my apologies. There you go. Okay, so part number sheet here. Here's J4. So it's down here, universal header, amp mate and lock 12 pin. But then there's this part number, but these all look too similar. Like this whole column is basically all the same. So those have to be deck part numbers. So we need to just find an amp mate and lock 12 pin connector. Something along the lines of that. Okay, dude, it's so cheap. I should just go buy a new one. There we go. Boom. Well, I'm about to have it myself. Okay, all right, can just go over here. 21, 20, 21. That's on the power supply board. I will agree, that's correct, but I don't know why they don't do that on the other board. This is probably the same. And it looks like they just don't cover that here. You number it however you feel like. Connector provide with some interpretation required. Could totally just get a new one. Anyway, that's just the 12 volt or the solenoid power. Okay, so we can do that one. Let me grab the phone. Let me jot this down then. Okay, so they are probably dittoed. So that would be okay, stupid phone didn't bring back my thing. Dude, why? Great, now I gotta find this notes app. Samsung, hold on. Keep notes. Notes. This one. Okay, here we go. So, group 1 would be 24. I can almost write sometimes. Okay, group 2 should be common. Ground. Group 3 should be minus 24. And then those are case ground, but also no connect. So, okay. Let's look up J2 now. Let's figure out where that is, because that has all the power. That's probably the one we actually need. Okay, where's J2? J2's over here. 6 pin. Okay, I just want to confirm. I think I zoomed that out. I did not. Let me point that slightly farther down. There it is. It's hiding down there. Okay, it is indeed a 6 pin. I did not actually see that one the first time. Yeah, there's nothing in the last 3 on that connector. I have no idea why. Which includes the case ground. That one's just omitted for some reason. Okay, so this one, I'm going to draw this in that orientation. Okay. Then do we get... No pin numbers, it seems, but we'll guess based off of that power supply one that does get pin numbers for some reason. It's bastard's scrolling. It wasn't 12, it was 21. Bad form, but probably save descent. Case ground is probably redundant. Yeah. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And 4, 5, 6. Okay. Then up here, these will be the same, so I'm not going to bother. Okay, 1. Okay. 2. 12. 3. Anti-12. 4. Ground. 5. Strawberry ground. 6 is 5 volt. Okay. Hold on, let me check something really quick. Okay. I think we're ready. Yeah, let's go look at this. So first things first, let's see if case ground actually matches case ground. So, case ground on this one is, man, that was really hard to see. Okay, and the other one, for giggles, is also case ground. Okay. So, unsurprisingly, they're shared, or common somewhere. Okay. So then I should be able to just clip this onto something somewhere and then measure that. So we only have to have one probe in that area at a time. Let me grab the probe bin. Gosh, that's a tough thing to unclip. All right. Check this one more time for giggles. Perfect. Okay. Now we can set this to volts. I'm not going to check DC OK because it just pretends it's okay to begin with. I'll cram that into the 12 volt one. Then menu. How do we do this? Set up. Recording. Maybe not actual setup. Menu. Max. do not remember how to do this. Oh, just save. Okay, here we go. So record, batteries low, function unavailable. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, let me change out the batteries really quick. Min-max is invalid because the minimum will be off and the maximum will be power spike. So it's not that useful. Where'd the batteries go? There they are. Take 9-volt? No, it takes a giant pile of AA's. Six of them. It's like a Game Gear. Except it lasts years on the batteries instead of minutes. Is there a rechargeable replacement for this? I bet there is. Dude, I swear the Lynx got better battery life than the Game Gear did. Lynx didn't need a weird rechargeable lump. Dude, if there's like a generic brand USB-C rechargeable battery pack for this thing, I'm all in. All right. Oh, it's going to be all peppy and happy now. Error, date, and time needs to be reset. Fine. That is actually shockingly accurate. Okay. I wonder if the Atari Lynx needed it to be as big as it was, or was Atari still in America? Like huge things?
CHGER 100. When I had a Game Gear, I couldn't afford alkaline zinc carbons in a Game Gear will get you from one main socket to another. End of line.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's brutal. Chloe, thank you for the 100 bits. The Lynx 1 was way bigger than the Lynx 2. So, yeah, they were downsizing it in the middle of its product life. Yeah, the one thing I never want to do is design rechargeable batteries. That's just awful. So I will happily buy one, even if it's not amazing. Well, he says, even though he has a project where he wants to change out how the rechargeable battery setup for something works. I have a DualShock 4 and a Bluetooth keyboard adapter for it. And I think it would be kind of awesome to have the Bluetooth keyboard just rob power from the DS4, but put a bigger battery in the keyboard thing because there's way more space. And then have the DS4 have like a huge battery. Because I want the DS4 with the keyboard for connecting to my phone, for controlling the phone over Bluetooth with like a singular mouse and keyboard thing. And then with joystick, it helps emulate touch stuff. Okay, so save, record, hold on, close. You know, I'm just going to turn this on real quick just to make sure that that actually changes the thing. Oh my gosh, that power switch is way deep in there. Maybe not have my face right in front of it for when it explodes. All right, that is 12. Okay, so we'll save. Whew. Yeah, the Lynx 2 is thicker, but that actually just made it a little more comfortable to hold. The Lynx 2 is way better. Okay. Sample interval, not 1 second. Edit. Can I make it faster? I cannot. Okay, so this may not be the way to do this. But we'll see. Maybe it'll catch it in the restart loop or something. I don't know. Okay, here we go. All right, where did I put my paper? What is this, a double slit experiment? As soon as I measure it, the results change? There we go. Okay, did it do anything wonky? All right, trend. No, that was completely normal. Look, we have oscilloscope at home.
Sleepy developer says CHER 100 oh no, it's Schrodinger's typewriter. End of line.
All right, I have a feeling that I shouldn't use this. I think we should see if the scope has a long-term storage mode or something. I don't know. Because 1 second's pretty rough. Silicon scope homes, Game Boy cartridge, yeah. I think we should do this one more time. Can you grab the fiber rail? Yeah, I can, but that worked so well for so long. I really think we need the higher range. I don't know, higher resolution. When it fails, it's like instantly. That's the problem. Let's crank. Turn on this one more time. Try that out. All right. Can anyone give me the Cliff Notes version of not blowing up your oscilloscope with the connecting the mains to the ground or whatever? Like what exactly is the rule? Use an isolation transformer. That's great for people who have one. Make an isolation transformer. Use 100x probe. Check for continuity between logic, power, ground, chassis, ground. If they aren't connected, all right. I feel like we are in the realm of where blowing up the scope is possible with this. With the weirdness of the multiple grounds on here. And maybe I should just fess up and then we start this tomorrow. What I'm hopefully leaving early to go pick up today is a portable oscilloscope, a handheld digital oscilloscope. One that's just fully isolated. It's not fast, but it's isolated. What a coincidence? Not really. Then don't risk it today? All right, yeah, because that would probably be safer. Okay. shocked? That's what we're trying to avoid, Redshift. Don't touch a scope when it's connected to dangerous stuff. Well, right now this isn't connected to anything. Knew you were picking something up? Yeah. All right. Well, I would still like to find out if this has the long-term logging mode, because that's kind of cool. It would be nice to know if it can do that. Pull the grind pin out of the scope cable. Do not. Yeah. Oh, don't. Oh, the portable one. Well, I mean, told you to get the $100 battery scopes. Okay, so this is a Siglent SHS 806, which I think can be hacked to do 150 megahertz, but I don't know. The way that process is described seems a little weird, but it might be possible. It's like, it looks really good. So I really want to get it. It should be a pretty bad mamma jamma one. You're good? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it should be a nice one. So, all right, let's see if we got a slow log mode on this, because that would be cool. The price of that thing? I know, right? Is it a USB-C powered one? I have no idea what powers it. I was like, why is the power strip not powering? That's a good reason. Don't worry though, Hellencroft, remember, I'm cheap. Okay. Yeah, the last one on eBay sold for $600. I'm not paying that. Don't worry. It won't help you unless you actually power with a power bank. No, it has an internal battery source. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So imagine this, okay? This level of oscilloscope, although not quite as fast, but with a battery inside. But then also the size of, well, an Atari Lynx. Maybe cut off 1/2 of the controls. Yeah, Redshift, I wouldn't mind something like that to do the video stuff that I want to do with the 16500C, but they are not cheap. And, well, you say it's cheap, aren't they like $300 or something? But that also involves getting a computer in there, and I don't really like using a computer in a setup like this. That's a little spooky. All right. Last price I seen here is $400 without tax. Yeah. New for the Handtech, or definitely not the Siglent. I know the Siglent's more than that. I'll say this about the Siglent that I'm hopefully buying today. I'm concerned about where it came from because I'm paying such a low amount for it. Siglent price, oh, new was $400. That actually seems really good. Yeah, because I keep seeing like $1,200. Okay. Let's just see. We should be able to see it sweep with the, Oh, you know, shouldn't we actually just be able to do like a ridiculously slow, like 5 second per division, and then we set our trigger source to normal, and then we just run once, let it go. It should grab data, and then we just look at it. Isn't that how it should work? Fell off a truck, that's what I'm concerned about. Slow roll mode. Yeah, but I could also just like let it go for like, you know, I mean, what's this gonna be? 30 seconds-ish? And then do the test. Like, does it matter? If I just do a single manual trig, turn it on, do the thing, like, will it make a difference? Vertical menu. Why do I not have a channel? Ground. Why don't I see anything? Okay, hold on. Auto. There we go. Okay, channel 2. Waveform off. Okay, channel 1. Run stop. No, hold on. Trigger mode normal. Okay, so if I move this down, run stop. Trig. Source. Let's see. Use the trigger to start the scope when the rail falls below specified voltage. I mean, I could, but we would have to get it. We have to know which channel is the one that's actually dropping in voltage before that will work. But we're also not doing that today. I just want to see it do it. Like, I feel like it should be a thing where I could just have it, like, draw the trace on the screen as it goes and then stop once. Like, whatever input goes in, that should do it. Oh, force trigger. There's a force trigger button. There we go. That's what I want. Okay, so let's go 1 second per div. Maybe I didn't push the button. Hold on. Press. Maybe it's super slow. Mode, normal. Okay, force trigger. Wait, can you not force trigger when it's that slow? There we go. Oh, that's weird. Okay, click it out once. Bring this down. Force trigger. Does it. Okay. Click it out once. Move it down. Force trigger. That worked. Oh, you know what? I think I know what it is. Hold on. 1 second. I think I have to hold this for a moment. No? I just can't get it to trigger on a 1 second. That's still not as good as a don't care button, yeah. Huh. 500 milliseconds. I'll move it up so we can guarantee see it. Force trigger. Okay, that doesn't work. You have to wait for the whole capture. But I shouldn't have to hold the button. There we go. Or do I have to hold the button? What I'm saying is so up here, we can see pre-trigger, okay? Trig question mark, okay? So then I'm going to move it down. We're now in pre-trig, okay? And then if I make this a lot faster, okay, 10 milliseconds, I push the button and then the thing disappears, okay? So I'm going to make it slower now. I'm going to set it for 250 milliseconds. I'm just going to tap the button and then it doesn't go. Hold it there. Oh my. That's capturing right now. Then it shows. The whole capture is way wider than your screen. I suppose that's true. But again, press release. There it goes. But the thing cleared. All right, I'm gonna bring it out. I'm gonna move this up, and then I'm gonna tap it and walk away. Let's see how long this takes. This is 1 second. Okay, that does work. It just takes forever. All right, that's good to know. So if I was willing to be riskier, we could do this. Set it to roll mode. I got no idea. Mode, it doesn't, we got untriggered roll and auto, but auto just like repeats. But then we don't have a source to trigger off of. Oh. Is it that thing where it just automatically switches to that when we get fast enough or slow enough? Yes. All right. That's what I wanted right there. I knew it would do it. All right. Whee! Well, the real trick, Wesley, would be linking the manual and then me actually reading it. There's someone on eBay who's selling the case that snaps onto the top of this. I kind of want it, and then I want to get the manual, and I want to put the manual in there so that I can have it to not read it. Yeah, CRT Etch a Sketch, yeah, exactly. All right, well, now what? I mean, this is fine. I'm happy with this. But what do we do today? if we're gonna wait for the sensible, safe thing for me to get the tools that are literally made for the job for this, wait for Ben to read it and tell him the bit he needs. It depends. Like, I was actively searching for that information. Here's the thing. Some people are more familiar with the documentation style of things like DEC. I am not. All right. So Ben probably skips through that and finds where the pertinent information is a lot faster than I do. I was looking for that in the manual. So, yeah, I would have got there eventually. Deoxit that socket? Which one? We're not at home. I can't deoxit that brightness pot on my KVR 2145. Does that have math functions? It does. This does. Yeah, math right there. That's the scary button. I know you're saying we could do a differential on the thing with the safe stuff. That spooks me out a little bit more. Wait, is somebody taking my name in vain? No, we were saying that I was saying you are better at reading DEC manuals than I am, so you were able to find the information faster than I was. One moment here. Ah. I'm going to be so mad if I don't actually end up meeting this person and pick up the Siglant scope. Yeah, I know Vorpal Sword that's supposed to be a thing, but it's a spooky thing. I'm not really thrilled about trying to do that. Okay, you meant the DECWriter. Okay. Oh, well, you know, actually, Philip, read the manual in this stream? I'm for what? For this? We're not going to get anything by just reading the manual front to back for this. Okay, how about an alternative option? Not really thrilled about, you know what, I'm actually not even going to indicate that. I was going to say we could try and hook up the Max R232, or the Max 232 to the DECWriter 2 to do serial out, but I would be an idiot to have both of them open at once, taking up floor space. So no, we're not doing that. How much time we got? We only have like an hour. Ooh. Put up last set of shelves? Yes. Yeah. DECWriter 4, letter writer. I don't know what the letter writer is. I shouldn't buy a DECWriter 4, but I do want one. So if the opportunity arises, I will probably be bad. Poot, I recapped the SNES. Whatever problem it is, it's deeper. I have no idea. Like, literally no idea what it could be. The thing that I need to do, hold on. Is that SNES still here? I think it is not. I think I took it home. Yeah, I took it home. What I need to do is I need to look up at that SNES.
100 if you get a DECWriter 4, what color do you think Majenko will turn? End of line.
Chloe, thank you for the 100 bits. Bad video RAM chip? I don't think so. It's an analog problem. What I was going to say is I need to look up if that is a suitable SNES to just RGB mod, and then avoid the whole analog side altogether. I don't think it's going to be, though. I think it's going to be a 2-chip. Which, for those of you who don't know, on the Super Nintendos, there are 2 major hardware revisions, it seems like. There is the original 2-chip, where there's a separate, like, video thing in the processor, and for some reason, that board has a lot of horizontal smearing in the image. Then the later 1-chip just like fixes it. It's so much better. The SNES Junior that I S-video modded is guaranteed to be a 1-chip because it's a later model. So those all look better than like launch day SNESs. So I need to determine if the pink one is a 1-chip or a 2-chip as to whether or not it's even worth. There's a mod for the 2-chip that fixes the issue. That's good to know. But again, I would rather just RGB mod it to just avoid all of the analogness entirely. So, yeah. Anyway, the thing I was going to say we could potentially do in an hour is try and replace the weird Rifa hybrid thing on the Tech 7904, but I think that'd be better off as a 2-hour Friday stream. So, video rating the PCB goes too close to the power trace zone? Oh, okay. That's good to know. If you know that level of stuff, Dark Shadow, do you know why composite video causes diagonal lines when also used with S-video or RGB? Because I have observed that on not only my own Super Nintendo, but other people's online that have been playing similarly to how I do with a CRT, but also RGB modded for video out. I am just using S-video out. But if I do S-video and composite, I see the diagonal lines. I see the same problem on the Nintendo 64, though, but instead of manifesting as diagonal lines, it manifests as vertical lines. So, what do you have here they could do in an hour? Yeah, so this is the problem. Okay. Not only does whatever task I do have to be done in exactly an hour, because I have to leave to go pick up that Siglant, hopefully. I keep saying, like, with an asterisk here, because I emailed the person to confirm our meeting time and location before stream, and I never heard back from them. So I'm a little nervous about that. They have overall not been tremendously communicative. Can't say no, that one, no problem. Bite break? You're going to get a bite break in an hour, don't worry. This is an overloading of the chip, not intended to have 275 ohm sources. Well, the RGB, maybe the RGB mod would do that. I don't know. Maybe. Hydro Thunder? No. Again, I'm not doing anything with Hydro Thunders until I pluck the CRTs out of both of them, cap map the good one that hasn't been recapped, order capacitors for both, then replace all of the capacitors and flybacks on both of them. Yeah, I'm not going to feel bad about the point redeems. They just end up messing up stuff. Okay. Stream your meetup. That way we can call the cops if it goes south. You know, I'm almost not completely against that. I've actually had one person meet me at a police station. I thought that was awesome. I approved of that. So that was when I was picking up my Disney sound source. Clean the office. I've been trying to come in early and do that, but I couldn't today because I had stuff I had to do before stream. The rest of the stuff, the cleaning that I need to do from now just can't be done on camera, so that's like boring. So, what could we do in an hour? Okay, so projects. This is Dasher USB 2 Dasher adapter. This is Visual 200. That's like a 12-hour project. This is fictitious computer power supply. We can't do anything with that.
They've subscribed for 43 months. End of line.
DECWriter 3 case needs scrub up? Not really. It's actually in fantastic cosmetic condition. It could use a little cleaning, but it's not really worth getting into right now. Really, it's just the keyboard plate because the plastic is dark, so you can see the areas where there's just a minor layer of dust. It was kept in an actual computer room to the point where I asked the person I picked it up from, like, hey, when they get rid of all of their old garbage in there and they want that floor gone because it's an actual raised computer floor, I'm like, let me know. Because I want the floor. Okay, that changes RGB signal into video converter. Changes in Y, CB, CR, and then that goes back. It's video cause that. Did an offer up meeting in a bank parking lot once? Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Yeah. I wish more people would do that. So. You can make the Disney sound source. No, I have a box. Actually, it's sealed in the box. Let's see, nice thing to have. That would be a nice thing. I don't know what I said now. So, physical bank offices? Yeah. Where else do you take your pennies to surrender them? Here's modded output RGB and component video. I gotta tell you, S-Video through good cables. I made my own cables for my SNES and N64 now. It looks incredible. I have a little bit of chroma bleed, but it's freaking amazing. Like, oh my gosh. It's so good. Now, I guarantee you the pink screen SNES is not in the office. Meeting in a parking lot is too American for me. Yeah, I'm meeting them in a random parking lot this time, which is, yeah. Still better in, other places. So it is somewhere public at least. Raised computer floor. So, well, I don't want it to store stuff under. I mean, I probably would, but yeah. Nothing beats SCART. SCART is not a video standard. SCART is a connector. You send the exact same signals as everything else over SCART. SCART has no advantage. The only benefit that SCART had is that it more often had RGB. Component I worked with, I mean, it would, but the whole reason I bought the RetroTink was for being able to do pixel precise capture. I'm finally starting on the script for the video capture follow-up, and I really wanted the RetroTink 4K for that, so that was part of why I bought that. It's incredible. RetroTink 4K may have moved to the top of my list of things for like #1 recommended video capture device for everything. Then you just need a 4K capture card, which does kind of suck, but that would let you do everything. When are you working on fictitious computer video? That was actually going to be the next video until people convinced me otherwise. So maybe I'll start on that Monday. I don't know. Depends. All SNESs except Junior have native RGB out on the back connector. I think some of them omitted it, or was it just by the time the N64 rolled around that it was gone? If they all have it, then I might want to find one of my 2 chips and make a cable. So I bought Nintendo video connectors, and I need to test this. I have some VGA to BNC adapter cables, and turns out it's really hard to find 5 conductor coax cable, and I wanted to make my own cables. So I was like, let me go find 5 conductor coax. I'll get some BNC ends. Then I can solder whatever connector I need for, VGA, Nintendo, Dreamcast, whatever I'm doing. Turns out that's really hard to get. So it's actually cheaper to just buy BNC to VGA cables and just snip the end of the VGA cable off if that's not what you need. So if you're right, and one of my OG SNESs, because I have too many, actually has RGB on it. I'm willing to make that cable and try that. So I will probably look into that. Let's see, such as fast switching can gen lock your video to incoming signal, punch through over normal video RGB. Fast switching. What does fast switching mean? Like a pixel clock? Is 5 coax with way more extra wires? Yeah. Yeah, but it's like the same as the VGA to BNC cable. What I'm talking about is just straight up raw, like a spool of 5 conductor coax. I actually want a spool of 5 conductor coax with 2 additional conductors that are paired shielded for audio as well. But I'm like asking for the moon, it seems. I'm afraid that I would have to special order a custom cable spool from Belden, and it would cost like $2,000, and that's just not happening. Basically, ask our device to say, pay attention to my video now on a pixel clock basis, high enough bandwidth. That's insane. Okay, now that is crazy. That's ridiculous. So with the pixel clock, like control gen lock, then you could individually remove specific pixels? That's insane. Yeah, Poot, if you remind me after stream, like just ping me like 2 or 3 hours after stream, I can send you some screenshots of my RT4K doing just S video. And it'll blow your mind. The real magic to the way the RetroTink 4K works, and why I am going to call it the best video capture device for analog video signals ever, is the fact that it will super sample multiple pixels together and then average them out when scaling. So for Super Nintendo, for example, to do 256 by 224, you can sample 4 pixels in a 1080p frame and then average them together to get a single color, and then it outputs for those 4 pixels just the average. So you get like perfect images. You cannot have bleeding or anything like that because it's so averaged. It's really good. It works the way that I think every scaler should work. I love it. Apparently we're just going to talk for the next hour. I don't know. What could we do for an hour? An hour is such a short amount of time. Image some floppies. Yeah, I don't really want to do that right now. I'm not set up for that. It's the same reason I'm not going to work on like writing the software for the Alaritech auto publisher, because like the stuff that I'm not actively working on is never in a state for us to actively switch to it. Like it's just, it takes setup to do things. So I don't get here, or at least I try not to get here and just like turn on the stream, then let's figure some stuff out. There's almost always some setup beforehand. So yeah. Struggling with going back to 1 hour for your Friday streams. Are you streaming longer before? Yeah, I feel like 1 hour for what I do. Well, actually, if I came to the office just to do 1 hour of work, I would spend more time driving than I would working. It would absolutely not be worth it. So, yeah, that's the other downside. Hour before you during winter and 2 during summer. Oh, yeah. RGB on N64 looked like an emulator of my CRT. Yeah. So my video looks like it's emulated. It's ridiculous. All right, let's talk through some stuff. All right. What do you all think the best future is for the 16500C? Because I love it, but like, it's not a good oscilloscope. I have the B that's on the cart that I can wheel away. I like having the analog channels, but I like the mouse and keyboard on the B more. Although the Cherry one is a lot more convenient overall, actually. It's just the reason it's still here is I don't know what I want to do with it. Because I feel like putting it back up there is the wrong call. The cables being routed from the back suck too much. I've come to the conclusion that this thing either needs to be on a cart like that one is, where you can position it closer to your DUT, or it needs to be built into a rack where it's permanently connected to your signals. So it would either go into my video stuff, or it would have to go onto that. And I think I want to leave the B on there. Vote that its future to be put in a large crate labeled Belchco, yeah. Or we can do the spooky measurement. I mean, at this point, we only have an hour left anyway, so if we just wait, we'll have 4 hours tomorrow. We'll start from where we are. Then we can do measurement and potential repair or something. So. Ooh, I had an idea. Let me look at my task list for parts I need to order, and let's talk through some stuff. First off, do I have a response email? No, I don't like that. Okay, let me move this. Okay. Okay, CDI belts. I don't have those. I can't get them. 51, 54 incorrect caps. Okay, so I think I ordered 22 UF caps when I needed 20 or 2.2 UF because I couldn't see the dot, or maybe I thought there was a dot. So I see 2.2 400 volts here. That's literally just one left over from something else, so that's not it. There's 22 UF 50 volts. I'm guessing those are ones I just ordered. They go to the Visual 200. I don't see a 2.2, so I'm gonna guess I screwed that up. I thought I ordered them. I don't know where they were or where they went, but I know that they were in one of my orders. They might be in the dot stuff. Let me look through the dot stuff to make sure they're not in that. So these are the capacitors for the dot. Reassemble, no, that's the dot. It needs to be recapped. These are the capacitors that go to that. We just need to do it someday. Let me find the, I think, 2.2s for the 5154. I think they're labeled in here for that, but I did not properly sort them out. Okay, dot. They're just labeled dot. CRF 6 C6 something 502. Pretty sure I ref desed it as just 5154. Maybe I'm wrong. Just don't like the neck of it. I don't either, but yeah. Are these thermal printed? Why is that one fading already? 10 UF. I don't see them. Okay, maybe I have them sorted or split out already. Okay, so I don't know about that one. All right, here's a question. CDI bells, yeah. Is there an existing breakout for BNC to VGA that is just like a PCB? because for some reason I couldn't find that existing for the RetroTink 4K already. I'm making or buying all of my cables as BNC for that because I'm using the Extron Crosspoint switch, which is making it so I don't have high-end cables to plug into the RetroTink directly if I want to, which kind of sucks. And using an adapter cable, like just one of my VGA to BNC cables, then with female couplers for the BNC connectors, is causing bleeding because that's a lot of attenuation on the signal. So I'm just gonna need to bring the dot to AZ dot and use it there. Oh gosh. Why am I getting so many notifications? Oh my gosh. Mastodon just realized all at once, like, hey, we could send you notices. I don't know. Well, look at that. I really wish I knew where the 5154 capacitors are. Maybe I'll just order them again. I don't know. The next one. Get VGA to BNC with both genders on the BNC side? I'm not sure what you mean. So I'm looking for, and I might just end up designing a PCB for this. Just straight up, like a PCB you plug into the VGA port, and then there's BNC jacks directly on it rather than a cable. That way you have less signaling nonsense going on. I really don't like that this one capacitor has a customer reference of dot. Oh, I know why. Because that's the one that goes on the, what was it, video card? Yeah, that's why that's there. Okay, hold on. Let me just Sharpie that onto there so I can stop looking at it and raising an eyebrow. We're doing cleaning. Turns out, maybe. Where's our Sharpie? That's close enough. Video card. There we go. You're late, yeah. So what ended up happening is I've determined there is something wrong with the power supply and that the voltage rails, one of them, is sagging when it starts to work. So it's not actually a homing signal issue, but the grounds in this thing are kind of weird, and I'm a little concerned about look up don't blow up your oscilloscope, or how to not blow up your oscilloscope, and you'll see that you have to be careful about connecting your ground reference points to devices that do weird things with ground, and this thing does weird stuff with ground. And the real solution is to either use an isolation transformer or just have a handheld portable oscilloscope. And coincidentally, I am leaving stream early to go buy a handheld portable oscilloscope. So it makes sense to just wait until tomorrow to continue it. Never seen the PCB version because 5 BNCs are too big to fit behind a VGA plug. They are. Yeah, let me look and see what this is. That 403'd for me. They said they're not allowed to... You know what? I'm going to just go ahead and not continue that statement. Which one? Siglent SHS 806. I'm hoping I can hack it to be an 815 for 150 megahertz bandwidth. Or differential probe. I mean, yeah, but like differential probe's also expensive. Okay, let me see this one. What's the signal quality like on that? Maybe I should just go that route. It's probably fine, isn't it? Maybe I should just do that. Those are probably like $8 on Amazon. Probably cost me less than ordering PCBs and putting it together. Power the scope off a power bank. I mean, I don't have that. I know that's like I say that, but then I had the chug plug video from forever ago. I think was the first time I was ever featured on a Hackaday. But yeah, differential probes can use multiple oscilloscopes. Yes, but they're also expensive. Okay. Well, I do need to order caps for the Data General Walkabout. Did we make a caps wiki page for that? I forget. Let me look that up. I'm on CapsWiki on my phone already because I was sorting the other stuff. Data general. Because I know that the photo for the Data General Walkabout ended up on actual Wikipedia, which usually means that it was put on CapsWiki. There's a walkabout. Oh my gosh, I have a cap map already? I just haven't ordered caps? I'm bad. Okay, I think maybe we could spend an hour picking out caps for the Data General Walkabout. That's the tiny little Data General laptop style serial terminal that has the exploded tantalum in it. Recapping the TDS scope? Oh, I don't think that's gonna, no. Oh wait, we opened it up. It's not that bad inside because it's fancy modern. Yeah, there were like 4 different SMD caps in there. It wasn't that bad, and they weren't leaking. And yeah, I know digitalization. It was funny. I forgot why. Oh, I know why I did it. For giggles, I applied to the YouTube verification thing. The Tech Tangents channel is now verified, by the way, whatever that means. I'm hoping it means that YouTube will be less afraid to like push it to people for watching videos and stuff. Anyway, I apparently the way that the YouTube verification works is they just like Google your channel and see what shows up. So I was searching for Tech Tangents, and for some reason, I think it brought up the like Wikipedia page with photos attributed to me. So that was how I saw that. It was kind of funny. We got a broken iod. How did you break an iod? I would like to know so I can avoid that. There's under 4K differential probe. Why is it 4 kilovolts? Why don't they look like the like crazy front of a space gun with the probe-majigger things? Dude, that just looks like the ultimate garbage China one. I swear I have those exact same clips. Literally right here. Take that, 16500C. That. Yeah, it just comes with this garbage. That was 20 bucks on Amazon. That's scary. You mean the category for your photos and Wikimedia comments? Yeah. I think it was just yeah, it was attributed to Shelby Juden, but it was just funny because I think it showed up when you search Tech Tangents. Maybe I searched for my name too just to find out. I don't know, but yeah, that clip should handle 2K. Actually, that's a good point. What does this say it's rated for? 1K. This is rated for 1K. Jog wheel is broken. Okay, so yours is different then. Oh, you're wondering how my last name was pronounced? Yeah. Nope, nothing weird. Just like, yeah, you do it. No. All right. By the way, you want to open 6500Cs, those eras, equipment for known leaking caps PSU board. I think we looked at that when I VGA modded it. I'm not sure. We're probably going to open it when we VGA mod the B. So we'll compare, because why would I try and learn how to do that again when I can just look at this one? So, older versions vertical, connections on the top. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Remember my schedule, Kalino once. Okay. I finally heard back on my handheld scope. It's not, they're gonna be late. That's fun. Okay. All right, hold on. I'm just gonna email them back. Give me a second here. All right. Quick live stream from the van, yeah. Inside that cheap differential probe looks fine. That does look better than I feared. All right. Quick live stream from the van. I say like, oh, how could I do that? But I actually have everything set up to do that. Get the police scanner, make sure there's no progressing. All right, real quick, I have finished this coffee, so I am going to go hang this on the doorknob to the office so that I can just grab it when I leave. Okay, what's a quick project that we can work on? Oh my gosh, this is insane. I can't believe I'm thinking I might actually do this, but it's kind of perfect. Okay. I know what we're gonna do, but I want to film. I want to record it because it's not gonna take that long. Okay, hold on. I need to format some SSDs, and then I'm gonna make you all excited. We're gonna do something kind of cool, actually. You're gonna see me power on something I have not yet powered on. At least in theory, maybe, hopefully, and hopefully it actually like works and stuff too. Finally get a band pen from chat. TNG SSD holder. I love these. They're so good. On that, actually, I can wipe the text off of this one. Oh, good. This marker's not completely screwed. I forget exactly what the reason was, but I accidentally slammed this dry erase marker tip first, bam, right down into my ESD mat over there, and it crushed the tip all the way up into it. There was a reason I did it. I don't remember why now, but I pulled the tip back out using tweezers and it's working. Okay, no, that one doesn't go there. This goes here. This is kind of like the perfect project. I think this will take the right amount of time. I'm not buying you anymore. I'm so sorry. It was related to this. I was trying to label stuff and I couldn't remember what, if I used the Sharpie or something. Dude, there was like an oh, wait, I know exactly what it was. I noticed the last time I put on the lid, it wasn't on all the way. And I was like, oh, let me just quickly tap it on like that. And then what happened is it fell off as I was pushing it down. That's why. I was like, oh, let me just quickly do that to put it on all the way. That's what happened. All right, let me format this. All right, I'm hoping this is like a 10-minute project. But we'll see. Because a 20-minute or the 1-hour project's not a good fit. Now I'm getting a little nervous about the amount of time we have left. We actually have 40 minutes plus whatever additional time this takes. I don't know.
CHER 100 SO user error. Got it. End of line.
Yeah, yes. Thank you for the 100 bits, Chloe. All right. Maybe I could just tell you what I'm going to do. That way we don't lose viewers because I'm being boring. All right. Vorpal Sword, I just basically do that in the cameras. They have format built into the camera. You actually cannot delete a video file on the Blackmagic. You can only format the entire drive. So I'm just going through and quickly formatting all of the SSDs that I use so that they are empty. All right. Anyway, we're going to build a power supply for the Sony SMC70. You'll note, I did not say fix or recap or repair. No, build. because this is the dumb timeline. Just trying to keep track of Craigslist. You know, this isn't, no, it's not SSD sized. PC Junior all over again? Kind of, but the PC Junior part that was like the hard part is weirdly something I don't have to do. Okay, I'm gonna make this go away so we have space. We just do that and that. So much cable. Actually, let me unplug the BNC cables from this. Does this involve Pico ATX? Yes. This in theory has a handle, but I never use it because like it weighs 1,000,000 pounds. I don't trust the handle, but I'm gonna use it right now. It's hard to get it up high enough to where it's not absolutely destroying your shoulder. Okay, let me grab the SMC. Vorpal Sword, that device uses a backplane for interchangeable cards to determine what the functionality of the device is. So there is no way they could have had jacks on the front. Because they don't know what it's going to ship with. Look at this thing. It's insane. So cool. Okay, so let me quickly fill you guys in on this. This is a Sony SMC70. It is not in tremendous condition. That was the only way I could afford one of these. So, yeah, it's also one of the weirdest computers ever. It could have been the one that shipped with the first 3.5-inch drives, but it's not, because Jonos. But yeah, it's like a whole thing. I've been after one of these forever, and I was so excited when I finally got this, but it's super screwed for some reason. I don't know how it got into this shape, but it is bad. So this is buying a parts car and then trying to make it work. So we're gonna see how this goes, but this is gonna be rough. So I need to intro this for a video, and then we're probably not even gonna finish this today, but we can make some good progress on it. So, did the internal plastic post break off? Oh, it's so much worse than that. So much worse. You'll start to understand why as we get into this, but that just to give you an idea, it's a basket case, and I know it, and I bought it intentionally. So, all right, here we go. Hello there. Today, I am working on a Sony SMC70. Now, I've been after one of these for quite some time after my video about the history of the 3.5-inch floppy disk. Actually, a little before that, too. It's just kind of a cool and iconic machine. However, they're very expensive. And this is the only one I have seen come up for sale that I could reasonably justify buying. And that's because it's kind of screwed. So we're going to work on this thing in this video and try to get it going. Because as bad as that seems, what's back here is even worse. All right, there's our quick intro. Now let's take a look at this. Well, yeah, because I don't want to smile for 4 hours straight. You know how much my face would hurt if I smiled for 4 hours straight? Oh my gosh. It sounds like he's smiling when talking. He doesn't smile. I mean, it's more because when you're making a video, you need to be extremely high energy. On stream, if I maintained that level of energy for that duration of time, I mean, straight up, I just couldn't. Like, I just couldn't. I'm already way higher energy than most people who would stream. Trying to take it all the way up to video level would be disastrous. How many modules did you stack on there? Oh, that's where it gets real weird. It's so weird. Let's look at that. Now, okay, you know what? Let's do that again. The biggest problem with this is in the back here. The SMC70 has modules, and it seems like it works in the same way that the IBM PC Junior does, where you just plug these into the back and you can expand this out. That's not even close to how this thing works. And I had no idea about this until I bought this one. So first off, there are two screws on the sides up here that you need to just loosen. Why do you need to loosen screws? Because this thing is skewered together. You have these metal rods that are compressed up here against those screws, and these hold the entire thing together. These are now loose. And then they don't actually, we'll get to this in a second, they don't actually connect that way. There is kind of a bus down here that they slot into. But that bus is just a ribbon cable with connectors on it. This thing, it's so weird. So when working on one of these, you have to be careful that the connectors don't like disassemble, because these IDC connectors that go on ribbon cables are kind of fragile. And when you're plugging them in, you have to do it in like a very particular way. So it is the weirdest thing. I've never taken all of these off, but I suspect we may not actually be able to take that one off. I think I could push this in, maybe, maybe not. Like, put it farther in when you're not using these connectors to make the unit smaller, because this is actually the Genlock version of this machine. So you may have seen on the front that it has this. This is the SMC70G. The standard SMC70, this module is directly sitting on top of the keyboard module, and this whole section just doesn't exist. This allows this to work as a video graphics overlay device, which is super cool. Now, the other problem with this machine is this. This is the power supply, or normally it would be. This one's empty. And this machine has been modified to have an ATX power supply connector. And then there's this one loose crimp terminal that goes to, I'm not really sure. So here's the deal. I bought this. It was shown working, but they said that the, I believe, left floppy drive had a problem reading a disk, but that this is how it works. And there's like cut cables on here, and yeah. So this is my conundrum. There are no manuals or service guides or anything available for this online. And this is all I've got for how the power supply should work. And I'm never going to be able to get just another power supply. These machines are too rare, and these would have never been sold separately. So what we're going to do today is take a 160 watt Pico PSU. We're going to directly connect it to the existing hack on here, but then we're going to take a high wattage 12 volt power supply and we're going to build it into the back of this so that we can try and recreate the original power supply in here. And then as a bonus, I'm going to try and recreate the original power switch, which goes in here. I think I can kind of do this with this switch that I just happen to have in part storage, but it's going to be a little bit of a pain in the butt. So this is our main goal for today, to try and power this thing. The original jerry-rig the ATX connector, I assume this was done when the original power supply was still in here. And that they could either look at reference voltages or something. I don't know. I don't like those cables. I don't like anything I'm seeing. I hate everything about this. What could possibly go wrong? How hard could it be? Yeah, really. Oh man, this is a nightmare. Let me get a stool so I can sit for the first stuff here. Oh, let me just put the parts down here. Blah. Original power supply may have been used as parts or swapped, yeah. All right. Well, when it comes to multi-voltage rail stuff like that, Vorpal Sword, that's not really possible. That, and I have no idea what current limits it needs for stuff. I would have spec'd this a little better, but the only thing I have to go off of is 1.3 amps of 120 volt wall power for this. Okay. Blah. What a weird connector. Is Genlog module easily unplugged? Not even slightly. Look at this nightmare in there. It's not even a standalone module. It's just like an extra ring, and then they stack more junk on top of the existing boards in there. It's kind of horrible. I would not recommend this system to anyone after seeing one in person. 3 minutes remaining? Yeah. Well, in theory, I have no idea how much time I've got, because the person is supposed to email me when they're on their way. You know what? I'm realizing my notification volume is going to be very low because the phone is dumb. Let me set it higher. That's real kludge? Yeah, isn't it? How many rails does it use? I have no idea, because there's no information about this thing online. They have, what is it, like 5 wires soldered here? I don't know, I could try and figure out which ones they go to. Or we could just power with the Pico PSU. Is everything in there on that bus at the back? I'm not sure what you're talking about. So this actually extends the full-on system bus, and it's meant to connect to this connector on the back. So that's a Centronics 50-pin connector, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Oh, that's delightful. I love the rust that's going through onto the cable there. That's wonderful. What is that thing? This is a Sony SMC70G. Oh, my air compressor's on. That's fun. Oh, yeah. So the other thing hold on. So the other thing that, nope, that's still not it. So the other thing that I said that I would get back to here is this. This is a battery backup unit. And thankfully, somebody at some point has gutted the battery out of this. So I don't have to worry about that anymore. Ooh, I didn't notice that until just now. That is a power switch, and you know what? I might actually rob that power switch for what I'm about to do, because I bet that is a closer match than the one that I have here to the original, since it is, well, an original. But this is doing literally nothing, which is one of the reasons why it would be nice if I could collapse this in, because I could remove this module that is completely useless. But for now, I will be putting this back in as a completely pointless thing after I am done. But yeah, when we get closer to this working, I might actually pull that out. So let's go over what all we need to do. First off, this is an external connector for the back plane, let's call it, and it would mount into the shell here. So I need to make sure that I mount this in such a way that I don't block that. So I'm thinking along the bottom here, but we should test the whole setup first without putting it all together, which is just, oh my gosh, this thing is so jank. Yeah, we need to see if it works. And because I don't know anything about this machine, I think I'm going to have to trust that this is going to work initially, and then we'll try and figure out what the voltages are that are going into this after. Yeah, because, oh boy. So, how do we want to handle this? Should I power this off of a PC power supply first to make sure that it works before we get the Pico PSU involved? I think maybe I should. What is a wide connector? It's just a floppy connector. Yeah, that's our external floppy drives. We moved on from the deck, yeah, because it needs an oscilloscope that measures weird grounds, and in an hour, I'm going to be picking up an oscilloscope that can do that, so it made sense to just stop and wait and do that tomorrow. All right. Well, you guys get to see something. Well, it's not like it's that special. Yeah. I made one of those business expense purchases. I just need random ATX power supplies. So I bought two 750 watt Silverstones. So we'll go ahead and use one of these as our test supply for this. So this one, I guess I'll actually just go put back on a shelf. They haven't officially been inducted to a shelf yet. They've just been sitting in the entryway waiting. You know what, how about I don't put it in a weird random shelf that I will never find again. So I need to move this before I step on it and break it. Based on the colors, these is, I mean, yeah, it's probably using some voltages or something. Okay, so what we got here? We've got words. Got cables. Ooh, cable ties. Let's just take all that out because it's not like that's ever going into a case permanently, or they will need those. We got one big cable, other dumb cables. So I bought these in particular mostly for using in vintage computers because they come with all cables disconnected. That way I could like put this one, when I'm done, will probably go in the Linspire PC, because that will allow me to only have the cables that I need installed, which will be preferable. What happened to the Pico PSU? I'm thinking we test it with this first, just to validate. Then we'll do the wonkiness with the Pico PSU. Because what if, like, there's something weird about how the Pico PSU works, where that doesn't work, and then this would have worked. So I feel like it would have been smart. Do modern power supplies do negative 12 volts? I don't know. What on earth? I guess that's a way of doing it. I have never seen that before, but all right, fine. Do I have a current clamp? That's not really going to tell me anything. Also, DC. Inspired video the other day. I want to share how badly I was wincing at the torn out bit around the fastener in the center view of your large desk cabinet thing. What? Torn out bit around the fastener. You mean the desk back there? So... Oh, is there a hole like routed in the middle of the desk in the back? So I didn't do any of that. I bought that for like $50 from some business that had it in their front office. The whole desk. You know, they're DC current clamps. How does that even work? Isn't the whole magnetic thing like required? Where do the 4 pins from the PSU go? What do you mean the 4 pins? All the pins are there. Hall effect sensor. I have no idea how that works. Literally none. Tell you if the Pico PSU can supply enough current for the system to run on. Well, if I wanted to do, I'm going to plug it into a kilowatt down here. So I'm going to have a total wattage, but that also doesn't help. Because the real problem with the Pico PSU is knowing what the individual channels do. Basically, all this does is output a bunch of 5 volts. I don't know if it outputs negative 5 at all. Probably doesn't. I have no idea how it does negative 12. Pico PSU is not ideal, but it's because of the weird voltage channels, not because of total power output. Total power output, this is a 160 watt Pico PSU. Well, good news, it didn't blow up. Bad news, did Silverstone really ship that with the power switch in the on position? And it didn't even occur to me that it was just going to have the power switch shorted. But it beeped, so it didn't blow up. Oh, no, it all came to life. I want to be careful here. Power switch is shipped in the on position. Fail fast. Nothing failed. It's just, I wasn't expecting that. This. Okay, hold on. Oh, yeah, that still was not me. Yeah, that does suck. I hate that too. Yeah, if I had a way of fixing that, I would, but yeah. For those small form factor PC builders, the ones who can't even like plug in a cable that's keyed correctly. Okay, well, let me turn this off down there. Turn this off here. Plug this in. Oh, you know what? I'm not recording. Let's actually do recording. Okay, so I've got a Silverstone power supply here hooked up. It's just modular, so I only have to have the one cable plugged in. It's kind of handy. We're going to power this up. I will say that Silverstone apparently ships these with the power supply in the on position. This is brand new. I just unboxed it, and I wasn't expecting that. So I did actually plug this in already. It beeped, and it looked like it did stuff. So it's not dead, and it didn't explode, which is cool. But we're going to do a real first power on where I leave it on for a moment here in a second. But I wanted to turn this off, plug this in properly, turn on my power strip down here. And I'm also going to set a kilowatt to measure wattage. And now I will turn this on and we'll see what happens. Those are some pretty normal sounds. Definitely trying to read floppy drives. Genlock is marked as off. Power LED is on. Okay, that seems fairly sensible. There is a reset button. I have no idea what pressing that does. Maybe it'll make it beep again. Yep. Okay. Seems like logic is alive. Let me see if I can capture any video from it. Dude, that power supply is kind of sweet. It's so silent. Conveniently, this thing is all BNC, and the only composite cable I have routed from the Extron is BNC. Presume this is a floppy-only system? I cannot say. Maybe there was a hard drive module. I don't know. It is extremely difficult to find information about this machine. I do know that it was meant to be used with a profile monitor. It was not meant to be used with a PVM, except this one would be used with a PVM because it has a Genlock module, which really sucks because I want to complete it. So I have to buy both a Sony profile and a PVM. Rip wallet. Okay. How do I do video out? We got an RGB, black and white, multi out. I don't like that. Sync, black and white. I don't know, what do we think? It's sync on green. If I just plug composite into green, do you think it'll work? Probably not if it's RGB. 75 ohm BNC and 50 ohm cable. Well, this I believe is actually 75 ohm. This should be video because it's like ridiculously long. Green is fine. Okay. Okay. Thought your wallet was already pining for the viewers. Yeah. Vote RetroTink to upscale it. Well, no, because I want a CRT with it. But the thing is that it's technically multi-output. So it's a superimposer, which means that we'll be able to feed video in here and then out here with data controlled on this that gets overlaid onto the video. So this is the superimposer module. And then we can control and set up graphics and like do things here. So we need a monitor for this and then the actual broadcast feed for this. 9-inch Trinitron from the 70s. Ooh, from the 70s though, that looks like it would fit in. This is the profile like gray plastic. What I'll probably do is use the KX4200 with this for now. But yeah, I don't know. All right, let me do this and then I'm gonna go press the 1 button for composite. Boop, and then the scaler button. All right, I am going to attempt video capture here. This is going to be green channel only going into composite, so we'll see what we get. And the Extron sucks yet again. Okay. I don't know how I'm going to do video out on this right now. I have one idea. Let me try something. So there are video outputs on the back. So there are video outputs on the superimposer card. Video 1 and video 2. I'm just going to plug into video 1. We'll see what we get. And then this has technically an RGB multi-connector thing. I don't know exactly what this does, but let's find out. See what this looks like. So starting it up. Is this video out 1? Oh, okay. So we're not getting anything there, but I mean, that's something. What does video out 2 look like? Exactly the same. There's a fan in the superimposer, I think. Huh. But why does that not do anything? Home. Let's try reset. Let's see what reset does. Vinyl Kenny, that is 100% what it is. All right. Man, I wish I could, Wait. Oh, hold on. I see on the video output on the main unit, there's a switch to go to black and white on this, which might just output regular video. Let me power cycle it. No. Yeah, I don't know. So the other cards I have, cards, modules, however you want to think about it, we have a cache disk unit. We have a cache disk unit, which is probably not needed to boot. And then we have... I have no idea. It's blank. There is a board in there. It's got chips on it. Then there's a card, and then that thing. I have no idea. Well, so we got video out. ATX power supply works. Let's chalk that up as a win. Okay. Now let's try the Pico PSU, which is going to be a little more complicated. How many pins? What do you mean? Of course, it's not printed. 34, so floppy? That would be weird. There's an external floppy connector right there. You know, let's hold off on the Pico PSU for a moment. I would really like to see video out. Oh, there's a slider here for ROM. Let's try ROM boot with the black and white switch and see if that gets us anything. It beeped in a different way. Okay, let's check the video output on the back. Power cycle it. Go back to disk. I do have a boot floppy in it, I believe. Maybe disk cache has boot ROM. Maybe. I guess there's no harm in plugging the other two modules in. Image to floppy disk. I got bad news for you. These are probably written copies of existing images that CRT dude already made. Cathode ray tube. Because they are like identical. I've also already imaged them, but yeah, it doesn't. We're not getting anything new out of them. That doesn't feel plugged in. Guess that's it though. All right. Okay, nothing there. So Schmide, no, because when I set it to ROM boot, the superimposer didn't output anything. So it is doing something. We could try taking out the disks and then booting with that to see if not having those in changes anything. Image to cache module, yeah. So no disks, no nothing. So they are doing something. And then it beeped the different beep. Oh, it's beeping multiple times. It says, help me, I have no floppies. I'm going to put the disk in the other drive that says boot and just for giggles see what happens. Oh, hello. Well, we had video for a second. Maybe it's on output too? So here's where this...
CHER 100 Lincoln likes the end of line.
Man, Deck Talk had a rough time with that. Thank you for the 100 bits, though, Sleepy. Yeah, it did say CPM loading, so it is a CPM machine. So that's not surprising. I don't know why we just lost, like, all video. For giggles, let me swap video out to that black and white one, maybe. Because, again, we should have multi-monitor stuff going on here. There we go. Okay, so... Does this work? Yes! A functional SMC70. Okay, that's pretty awesome. All right. Yeah. Okay. Oh, man, I'm excited. I'm so excited. Oh, man. That's some font? Yeah, so this is where RetroTink 4K will be handy because we'll be able to dial in like exactly what the capture needs to be for this kind of stuff. RetroTink 4K is going to be so nice for this kind of stuff. I'm so excited. Anyway, just in time to end stream. Well, that's the thing. Now I don't know what I should do for that because the person said they were going to be late. I haven't heard back from them. I don't know when I should leave now. What's the current draw? Oh, good call. 48 watts. I bought a 160 watt Pico PSU, but again, that's total power, not per channel. We don't actually know what per channel is. All right, that is a good point though. Okay, now that we know it works and that we can validate it working, I want to replace this with the Pico PSU. Now, this is a 25 amp 12 volt power supply because I had no idea how much power it was going to draw on what rails. So I wanted to just go all out. So this is the super overkill solution that no matter what, it's going to have enough power. We will cut this connector off to wire it to this eventually. First, though, I want to power this with the same power supply that I used for the PC Junior. And then verify that the Pico PSU can power this in a smaller way that we can build into that original power supply block. Let me go grab that 12 volt power supply. Hopefully it's in the drawer where I think it is. It's not, of course. Why would it be? That would make sense. Okay, where did I need a ridiculously high amperage 12 volt power supply? Oh no. You might think, oh, just use one of your bench power supplies. No, I don't think you get it. It's so much power. Maybe we just cut it off. I also have to cut off a power cable, which I'm not super thrilled about because I got to remember what the pinout is for that stuff. Yeah, okay, maybe we just do that from the get-go. Label maker? No, because those all have reverse polarity power supplies. They're all stupid. So I only use those. Would just a Pico PSU supply be enough? I don't know what you're asking. So the Pico PSU is a dirty cheater. It just passes 12 volts straight through from your 12 volt source. It only regulates down to 5 and minus 12 as far as I'm aware. So this is basically just a 5 volt step down converter. And so yeah, you don't actually want it to take like 19 volts. You want it to pass through 12 volts because that makes it smaller. I'm gonna grab a power cable for us to cut up. I don't want it to be like a really nice one though. Although it should be kind of long because I'm gonna hardwire it into the machine because that's how the original is. Huh. What about that one that thing just came with? You know what? Maybe we cut up the Silverstone one. You know what? Let's do that for giggles. All right, I have no idea where my big power supply is, so we're just going to skip straight to this, and we'll verify this does 12 volt out through there. So I'm going to actually take the power cable that just came with a Silverstone. I keep going to call it Silvertone like it's an old radio. We're going to go ahead and cut off this, and we're going to wire this directly into here. Now, on the original, if you look these up, you will find that there is a bulkhead that goes here that this would be run out of. So that's how I'm going to recreate this. I will have to like 3D print a bulkhead for that though. So I'll do that later, but for right now, I just want to power the 12 volt power supply. So let me get this free. But that is a good cable. I mean, isn't that the one I want to use? Don't I want to use a good cable? Oh, okay. Well, if you're bored of this stream, you can go watch a video on the second channel. Because I scheduled it to automatically release when the stream was supposed to end as a reminder. Small children should avert their eyes. Yeah, I kind of am okay with that because the power main stuff is spooky. But that is a good cable, high current. I don't need a high current cable. I am not. Dude, these cost like $1 at Goodwill. I'm not gonna worry about it too much. Besides, the moment's passed. These are probably the cheapest, easiest to get cable of all time. Now it's white, green, and black. The white sheath is like stuck to the thing though. So it keeps trying to pull with it. It's stuck to the insulation for the exterior. Where were the tweezers I had? Oh, an old soldering iron tip will work. Oh my gosh, the white one is like sticking to the tip. So when I try and pull it, it's stretching the white cable's insulation internally. Let go. Well, the black one too, actually. What if I just cut those again? Banana peel it? Maybe, actually. You know what? I was just trying to avoid cutting it more than I have to because I don't want to cut the insulation on the internal wires. There we go. No paper wrap? Nope. So, Silverstone power cable has no twine internally to do strain relief or any kind of extra wrapping around there. It's just, there's your 3 wires. Not a super awesome power cable, kind of the perfect donor for this, in my eyes. Okay. So, I know what green is. I'm going to look up the other 2 real quick. I'm just going to do it on my phone. US means plug pin out. Wow, these aren't keyed for size either. Okay, so let me back these out. Well, let me grab the other one. So screwdriver body is farther away for video purposes. Oh, I will say I like one thing I like about this is it has the plates for clamping on, so the wire shouldn't just get pulled around the screw. Okay. So, green earth, that one's easy. I'm not on the insulation. Okay. White is neutral. And the only one left is the only one left. All right, main supply stuff, never really my favorite. Check that ground is connected to the case of the power supply. Well, I probably want my negative probe back here too. Case is like anodized aluminum, so this may not be the easiest thing to tell. That was exciting? Oh, that's horrifying. Now I gotta check. All right. First things first, none of these are shorted. Nope. 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 That's all good. Okay, the case is like anodized metal, so I can't really tell if that's grounded. Negative does not connect to earth. Earth does connect to center pin. White connects to the right pin, and that only connects through a capacitor. Yeah, okay, so that all seems mostly sensible. Oh, I have a big cut on my hand. That's why my hand hurts. I checked the negative output. It's not tied to ground. So, negative out, earth, ground, not tied. All right, well, now I guess I check that this outputs 12 volts. K-screw, also anodized. Wait, these ones kind of aren't down here. That is. Okay, is that what you want? Demanding blood sacrifices? Yeah, I mean, it's just like, oh, that's the source of pain. Actually, the source of pain for it is actually the salt from the sweat that keeps going down into it. All right, I'm going to plug this thing into a power strip down here and then turn on the power strip. So let's see what happens. Well, I didn't hear any explosions, so I like that. Let's check the voltage out. Negative this side, positive this side. 12 volts, bang on. Pretty happy with that. All right. Well, now I think we cut off the barrel jack connector on this and wire it to that. Then we have a Pico PSU powered through this. The fun part is when we want to connect a power switch, we're going to single gang it to, I guess, one side of that. Yay. Which means I'm going to need to cut another one of these or shorten this, but this wire's already really short. I don't want to do that. Okay, let me turn this off. Let's look at discharge. It took a while. What brand is that PSU? The finest I can find on Amazon. It is Power Supply brand. There you go. Okay. Yeah, for right now, we're just going to power it externally. All right, so this at least could not be much easier. We can look at the back of the barrel jack to figure this out. White is positive going to the center pin. Black is negative going to the barrel itself. So we'll connect positive 12 to that, negative, ground, whatever, to that. It is super duper convenient that this comes with this on a detachable Molex MiniFit Junior connector already. It's kind of really awesome. Fun fact, by the way, that 160 watt Pico PSU, you should not be able to power one of those through this barrel jack. As far as I'm aware, there are no barrel jacks made that are high enough current carrying capable. There are no barrel jacks made that can carry current high enough to power that Pico PSU. So if you do have one of those, you should look at that with like a thermal camera or something and see how hot it's really getting. Now, I've already confirmed that this is discharged. Well, I was limited by the form factor of Vorpal Sword because it has to fit in this.
For a Ku says CHER 100NX, there comes a Pico Su that has a Lenovo Square Jack for 200W. End of line.
Well, that would be nice. I would like that. Okay. Also, Chloe, thank you for the 200 bits, or 100 bits. Okay. See, laptops and barrel jacks have close to that rating, but they are not 5.5 millimeter barrel jacks. Big difference. This is just generic off the shelf. You go look on DigiKey, whatever, sort by current carrying capability. There are none that are capable of carrying enough wattage for this. All right, I am turning that power supply back on because I just want to quickly verify that the wiring is correct here. So black side should be 12, white side, or yeah, 12 positive, 12 negative. Looking good. All right. I will turn this off, then plug in the Pico PSU. I'm going to do it without plugging it into the computer just to make sure everything's good. I'm actually going to unplug their extra cables since we are not going to use those. It's a shame that whatever that is like permanently wired. I have no idea. Oh, that's the power input. Duh. All right. So this, I think there are LEDs on this or something, maybe. We'll see if that like lights up when we turn this on. Okay, that would be a no. Well, all right, let's plug this into there after I turn it off and see what happens. All right, in theory, this should boot and power the SMC70. Boom. That'll work. All right, so that is a power supply that I can absolutely fit in the original case now. Okay. Oh, I am excited about this now. This is awesome.
Ultimate says your baby CPMVCHER 100.
End of line.
Thank you for the 100 bits, Ben. There you go. Just a little bit more. Here's a taste. Durr. There you go. Got some CPM going on. I don't know if you just missed it earlier or not, but yeah, there you go. Let's see. What was the one? It's like Sysgen, or do we not have PIP? Looks like we don't have PIP because I think that's an actual program, isn't it? It's not built into the command line.
CHER 666 golden apple. Let's flip and go.
End of line.
Sleepy, thank you for the 666 bits there. I appreciate that. Face character is gray, not black. I think it's because we're not using color. I suspect if we were looking at this through color, it would be like blue highlighted on a green background or something weird like that. Try VED. I don't really want to try anything. I want to work on the physical stuff because right now we just have like spooky power supply bits dangling in nothing with like cables and yeah, just no. So it's possible that we have PIP on the other disk or in the other floppies that CRT dude, or cathode ray dude, sorry, imaged from his. By the way, has he ever shown that in a video? Just like, because I haven't been able to find a record of that. He has photos of it on archive.org in his disk images, but has never done a video on it. Like, I wouldn't know anything about buying computers and never making videos about them, but I'm just surprised that he seems to have never done that. Not that you recall, I should reach out.
AEFFERSONTWILIGHT 9C5SIZCHER 100 CHER 100. I have never seen it on CRT ever.
End of line.
Jefferson, thank you for the 200 bits. Okay, behind the scenes videos never on a main channel. He has warehouse of junk that would put your junk to shame. Oh, well, I see how it is now. Depends on whether or not you want video junk or not. Is that PIP from Python 0.1? Yeah. Okay. I want that power switch out of the battery now. So here's the thing. Unfortunately, the original power switch was removed from this when it was gutted. I found this one in my stash of junk. I had tried to buy a different one that would actually fit in here, but it was way too small. This one, the switch mechanism itself is a little too big, plus it has the surround that I would need to file off. But seeing this one, that's probably the perfect size. So I would like to remove that and use that, and we'll see how well it fits in there. I feel like it's going to be really well, though. Oh, what kind of weirdo bits are these? It's like flathead, but with like a locking center thing. HP test equipment is pretty dense. Yeah. Oh, dude, I'm so excited it works. I haven't seen it power on myself yet. Oh, that's awesome. It's really nice when you don't get screwed by something that you haven't tested for months. Next up, SMC 70 at home. But that's a different day. That's the you can't change his battery screws. You know, you're probably right. Test equipment tour when? I mean, I've kind of done that. Look up the Linux GPIB video. The problem is I have way more that I don't use. And it's like, I've never powered a bunch of it. So it's like, you know, does that count? I don't think it does. If you're just seeing that thing back there, go look at my HP 16 500C videos. And it's basically that, but without the analog card. All right. I want to be careful about this because, oh, the stickers were cut already. Never mind. All right. That is some pretty classic Sony circuit board stuff there. Oh, fancy. We got a dual switch here. Okay. Well, I am all too happy to wire both sides of the power cable to that. Also, there's some free wire, so we're going to desolder on this side. Fuses were not blown, by the way. Honestly, I should just take out those fuses, because they're like free fuses. This is never going to be powered again. If they're good, why not just take them? There we go, some fuses. Because originality, we are about to very unoriginal this thing. This is the rat rod of Sony SMC 70s. I don't feel even the slightest bit bad. Safety first, it is literally not going to be connected to anything. We can rob whatever parts we want out of this. All right, I'm going to go ahead and desolder the wires for this switch, which turned out to be dual gang, which is sweet, so we can turn off the live and neutral sides. And then we'll have wires to route to the cable. Actually, I'll probably just solder the cable directly to this, and then we'll run the wires into the power supply that will mount in the other. Thank you, camera, for twisting away. All right, we're going to desolder these. Hold on, let me rephrase that. All right, I'm going to desolder the power switch, which conveniently has a bunch of wires going to it over here. Since there are apparently two sides, we'll just go ahead and disconnect live and neutral in one go. I'll solder the wires from the power cable directly to this, and then we'll crimp these into the power supply, which should solve two birds with one stone here. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get these desoldered. Maybe when this heats up someday. This one always takes forever to heat up. What's the voltage rating of that switch? 5 amp, 125 VAC, 2 amp, 250 VAC. It's a good call out because it could have been DC, but I bet that's the exact one that went in the power supply as well. They probably just had like multiple of them. All right, here we go. Just tin these up a little bit before we start. Get them nice and eutectic. It feels weird working on a vintage circuit board in a device, and I'm really excited about that I don't care about because we can't use this. And even if I could use it, I wouldn't want to because I don't want batteries. Wow, I guess I'm just going to yank on the wire, so I didn't need to use the desoldering gun at all. I didn't think about that. There we go. Go ahead and remove the bracket so that can go back in the battery module. I might have to remove or bend these tabs to make it fit properly in the power supply. It's a shame it's not a big paddle switch. Yeah. This rocker switch is pretty standard. This one's a slightly unusual size, though. That's the problem. All right. Moment of truth here. So we want it to mount in there like this. And then the idea is, yeah, I may have to... Ooh, I don't know. Is that going to be correct? So it has this covered area, so you can turn it on easily enough, but then it's supposed to be a little difficult to turn off, but it's like really hard to turn off. So I think I need to bend the tabs a little more flush. This is probably not the same mount that they used for that, especially since I don't even see any screw holes on there. So I bet it was mounted to the PCB or whatever went in there initially. Well, it can be close, but it would also be nice to be able to like reliably turn it off. I'm still not 100% sure how I'm going to mount this inside the case, though. So it's a problem to be determined the solution on. I am not just drilling holes in here and running the screws through. Okay, so easy, getting better. So that's closer, still not quite right. So let me bend those down a little more. All right. Oh, ho, 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 ho. That seems really good. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's basically perfect. So I'll mount it farther down. And then that's basically flush. You can push it in, and then to turn it on, it's a cakewalk. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I agree. So this should be flat. Yeah, and that's flat. And then that is there. Yeah, that's perfect. I love that. Okay, so that's problem 1 solved-ish. We still need to figure out how we're going to mount that later, but for right now, let's figure out how we're going to wire this for switching, which is spooky. Unfortunately, I can't just easily glue this inside the case either, because you have to press on it, which is going to strain stuff. So, that's a tough one. Perfectly matches the curve of the switch. I mean, that's why I assume this is probably the same exact rocker mechanism, just a different usage on the battery module. 2-part epoxy, I might have to do that, but this is the, I forget what the spray-in magnesium coating, so this isn't going to stick well. I might need to, like, sand this down or something if I'm going to do epoxy. 3D print amount. Anything I 3D print is going to add depth, unless I try to add it to the back, which... Ooh. Wait a minute. This would be way more complicated than I was originally thinking, but maybe the bulkhead for the cable strain relief and a mount for this switch could all be one part, because that is a pretty big area, but they're really close to each other. So maybe I could use, say, these 2 standoffs to hold the bulkhead and the switch position, maybe with this one too. No, that's for the skewer. Okay, I think we could do that. That's going to take a lot more work to, like, design, but that should be possible. And then the cables... I mean, in the worst case, I'll get new cables. All right, let's make sure, you know what, I really don't want to try putting this on there and then switching it without it being mounted, because that's, like, super spooky. Having all the, like, raw AC. So yeah, glue with rocker switches, slimline PCs. I don't know. I kind of like this solution. Any scoop pickup dates? Yeah, I don't think so, unfortunately. Yeah, nothing yet. So right now is the time that we were supposed to meet up. It's wires directly out of the back, so it comes loose, it's safe, and won't short out if it comes loose. Won't short out, better safety. Well, I meant I don't want to try wiring this right now and then having it be loose and then, like, trying to pinch this on the sides. I'm saying while we're testing stuff, leave it hardwired like this. So for mounting this in here, I'm going to slide this over to the side here. I see we have one screw mount position there, which looks like it might perfectly align with that edge. So we can do that. And then as long as that's enough clearance for this, that should be good. It looks like it might be. And then that's enough clearance on this side for all the cable management stuff. So actually, I think this is going to work. I'm excited. I think that all just came together there. So I just need to 3D model a part that goes in here that holds the power switch and then provides a strain relief grommet to go through the back wall for that. There it is. It's good as only 30 minutes away. I don't know exactly. How are you mounting the PSU in the case? Double-sided tape? No, we're going to try and put some screws through it, but they're going to have to go through the hole there and then like a vent over here. The screw holes are caddy corner, so that'll actually end up working out. It'll go through the vent. But yeah, it won't be super elegant. New second channel video? Yes. Yeah. I don't know exactly what I'm doing with my pickup now, so yeah, you can bail and watch that. Okay, I think we're done recording for right now. Or I think words. How will the Pico PSU be mounted? Man, you like to ask a lot of questions. Well, I think it's going to be enough testing for the moment. I have a plan, but I need to start some 3D modeling before I can really continue. So we'll pick back up after I have done some 3D modeling so that everything can be mounted. PSU is no worse than what Sony did inside the core of this machine. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, that's for sure. You guys want a closer look at there? Look at this horrible nonsense. Oh man. It's like you should see the just nightmare. Blah. I can't remember. I think I might have found like, yeah, loose connectors in here. I have no idea where these go to. Like, what? There's no documentation. I can't find anything out. I think those go to a plug. They go into a ferrule down there, and then they go off. I have no idea where. Yeah, so I don't know what those go to, and I will never know. They're just loose, which is delightful. Hopefully there's nothing else like that in there. So yeah. And by the way, this is 1, 2, 3, 4 layers of, oh, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers of circuit board in there. SCRD for pics from the inside? You know, maybe I should. I really did not want the Genlock version, but maybe us both having Genlock will be like a benefit to the other. Some engineer's nightmare brought to reality, yeah. Yeah, CRD's having some problems with his power supply. I might be able to help him with that, or with the floppy drive, since I'm apparently a certified Sony service tech for OAD31Vs. But yeah, it's so awful in there. Ugh. But yeah, I will definitely reach out to him, especially now that I know this thing actually works. Might be fun to see if there's anything we could collaborate on with this. PCP with point-to-point energy? Yeah, no kidding. Oh, man. Dude, though, it's gonna work. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. This is sweet. Worked as a Sony service tech as a summer job? That's awesome. It's a Sony overly complicated for something so simple. Computer? It's really not that simple. It does a lot in this configuration. All right, I don't want to get started on modeling this yet. I'm probably going to import this footage into my server and then squirrel it away on the cold storage drives for a bit, because I will have to do the modeling, and that'll require the 3D printer work, but I'm going to have to change out the, well, actually, that's not the A-Vision, or the AidNet, so that one's not going to be as horrible. But yeah, I don't know exactly when we'll come back to this, is what I'm saying. Oh, okay. That is quite the relief, though, to have this thing not just be a bunch of garbage. All right. We accomplished what I wanted to in the time span that I sort of had allotted, with bonus time, at least. So now I don't know what we do, because literally any time I could have to leave now. Might DM you once you go look for something. I have no idea what you're talking about. I mean, if you have one of these, I will gladly throw everything I've been working on in the dumpster so I can just have a regular power supply. On the other hand, though, this thing is so uber jank. I don't know. I wonder how much of this is that this one has been abused versus these things are just kind of terrible. Like, I don't know. It's such a weird computer. Just leave now so you're not late. That's the thing. I don't know when they're going to get there. They told me they were going to be late. And then they offered to tell me when they were going to leave or when they get there. And I told them, tell me when you leave. And then they never replied back at all. You might have some non-3D print modeling exercise. Oh, well, I don't have a problem with that, but the problem is getting all the, like, critical dimensions. That's the thing that's going to suck. So, like, we need the interior positions relative between this switch, this port, these two screw holes. Probably we'll use this one as another mount point as well. So that's just all going to be, yeah. So they message when they get there. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. So, he has Visual 200 Part 1 on his channel from 18 months ago. Still no Part 2. You know I just bought the capacitors for that. Get a sponsorship for a 3D scanner. I'm not going to say that won't happen, but I feel like it's unlikely. I don't know. Doesn't seem like I have a lot of cachet for that kind of stuff. Remember, you use different methods of 3D modeling. You mean OpenSCAD? If that's different, then yes. Better part of 2 years to order the parts for part 2. You're not helping your case. All right. Okay, I am like super out of ideas now, because now we'd have to work on something that has an indeterminate amount of time. And yeah, I really don't want to start any bigger projects. If I had my laptop here, which I intentionally did not bring, I would start working on post-processing the scans for the manual or service manual for the Sony TV. Oh, fun fact. So I have only had the service manuals for the KX2145. I ordered the actual owner's manual off of eBay, and it's coming with, I should say, I don't have it delivered yet. It is coming with the original earphone. That is the singular, like, lay on your bed listening to television with it in one ear headphone. The UHF loop antenna that can fold flat on the top, and the original service manuals that you're supposed to just like leave tucked under the television for a service tech who does not have the full service manuals that I have. As well as the actual owner's manual. So I am super excited. This is a CRT television that I have at home, and it's not well documented, and I'm about to just blow all the documentation wide open. Scope deal falls through, just get one of the modern Rigel scopes that runs off USB-C power bank, and they can do that? That's pretty sweet. See, I kind of like the way that this one looks like it's going to operate. It looks like it's kind of like a DMM, but with scope. But good scope, not like scope at home. Also, potentially hacking it to be 150 megahertz. But the Rigels could probably do that. Let's see. Has anyone commented on the TT2 video? Oh, wait. No, that's an unrelated email. Did I just hear thunder? I think I just heard monster thunder. Okay, if it's like raining really hard, then I am going to leave and start raining. Hold on. Or leave and start raining. Leave to start driving there. Okay, it is not raining yet, but the clouds do look pretty darn serious. Maybe I should just start making my way there. Rain in AZ? I know, right? We've had a lot of rain recently. It's been kind of awesome. People don't know how to drive in the rain? I live in Arizona. No, they don't know how to drive in the rain here. Like 15. You know what? Give me a little bit. Let me just read some of the comments that people are leaving on the video. Okay, let me talk over the video really quick here. Okay. So, there's a new second channel video out right now, and it is about a magazine called Barcode News. Now, the second channel video is exclusively me just going through the entire magazine page by page. And the reason is, I have heard about this magazine in several places, but that's it. It just whispers that it exists. There are no existing scans. There is no information about publication details. There is nothing. So this one showed up on eBay, and I was able to buy it. I might as well just do this. I was able to buy it, and I will scan it. It's in my laptop bag right now, ready to be brought here and scanned, so I can put it on archive.org. But this was a second channel video just going through the entire thing, because no one has seen or talked about this magazine in 40 years, other than the person who created it Carl Helmers, who is the original editor for Byte magazine. He left Byte and then started this magazine in 1981. It's super cool. So I was very excited to find it and to be able to share it. So that's what the second channel, a single issue or all of it, just one issue. Any single issue of it is a miracle to find. So no, it's just one magazine, but that is more than I ever thought I would find. So if I can get more of them, I absolutely will. I desperately want a 1984 issue of it after the Cause and Soft strip came out to see what they thought of that, because Carl Helmers liked the idea of the Cause and Soft strips so much that he wrote into Byte after he didn't work there anymore to express his interest in it, just because Byte had early access to it. So anyway, yeah, I am excited about that. And if you want to see a magazine walkthrough, like, it's really cool, to me at least. So yeah. But yeah, that's the second channel video. Yeah, I am thinking about the weather, and I should maybe just head over there. So it's probably like not a, there's so many phantom periodicals like that. I could totally see that. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe I should wrap this up with the impending, weather issues. Yeah. So Vorpal Sword, it doesn't matter if you know how to drive in the rain. No one else here knows how. No, it hasn't been scanned yet because, it's still at home. Because I haven't been into the office that much. I was going to bring it today, but then I realized I shouldn't bring my laptop bag since I thought I was going to be just like bolting out the door, not like dragging my feet waiting for a message. So I was trying to be packed light today, so I didn't bring anything that I didn't absolutely have to. So, yeah. Do I know how to drive in snow? You put the car in D and then you go forward. No, I have, of course, sideways, yeah. You know how many times in my life I have seen snow? I live in Arizona. Like, I am not even slightly kidding. Well, I am out of things to do for now. We are approaching the end of stream time already, so I should probably wrap this up. So I'm going to go ahead and end now. I'm probably going to make my way over there early. See how this goes. So let's do the outro. All right. That's it for today. We had some pretty good success with the SMC70. I'm really, really happy that thing worked. Oh my gosh. I will take note of how the wires are connected to the ATX connector so that I can figure out what the power rails are for this machine and document that, because yeah, it kind of sucks to not have the original power supply to be able to tell that kind of stuff. So that will be needed. But then we can work on like properly packaging the power supply later so that this is not uber jank like it is now, like the rest of the machine is. Yeah, but that'll be it for now. If you want to watch a video about a magazine, go check out the second channel. But that is it for now. So if you enjoyed this video on the live channel with the things and the stuff with the DECWriter and going, yep, that's a DECWriter, maybe follow to be notified when I go live again next. If you want to help support the channel, you can find me on Patreon or get a shirt like this one. But that's it for now. You can go check out Ben, who's gonna apparently do more CPM stuff. Probably more than just running DIR like I did. So yeah, that's it for now though, and I will see you all next time. If mods can do a raid, you can do that, but I'm not...